Hello, good evening, and welcome to Learning Netrunner with Team Squared and the Ashes Cycle. I'm Mark, aka MCG, and I've just had some nice courgettes for tea. But who are these other people, and what vegetables do they like?
My name is Dave, and my favourite veg. Oh, that's a difficult choice. It's probably. This is a really difficult question because I love all vegetables, all of them. Yeah, courgettes. Courgettes is good. Carrots.
Alexa, is a potato a vegetable?
Okay, potatoes it is. I think I know what the next answer is going to be then. Yeah, definitely carrots.
Very good. Hello, my name is Sharon, and my favourite vegetable is a potato. And yes, it is a vegetable because Alexa has told me it is a vegetable.
Correct.
And I
Was there any
trust the
doubt?
internet without any fact checking.
What if it wasn't a vegetable? What do you think it might be?
I don't know. It's
Small
like
rock.
a tuber?
A fruit, an animal, a mineral?
I don't know. Why are potatoes nutrition? Why is the nutritional value of a potato ignored when it comes to your 5 fruit and veg a day?
Fruit is a
Too
veg,
much
isn't it?
starch.
Alexa, is fruit a vegetable?
What's going on?
Dave,
Oh,
do you have an Alexa?
she's no, no. I'm just shouting into the void for the magical lady in the box to answer me. Yep. It's a good
We've
beginning.
all been drinking, basically. That's what's happened.
Well, I'm gonna have to play catch up, I think.
You are.
But to facilitate that, let's have a quick catch up of where we are. We are now, very roughly speaking, halfway through the Ashes cycle. We've brought the HB and Anarch cards in previous week. Last week we went through both Weyland and Corp Neutral.
Yes.
And really opened up more ways to play Clearinghouse than ever before.
Shit.
So, without further ado, we should really get on to the gameplay.
If next time they design like a startup format, if they could make it so that one card doesn't dominate the Pee Wee leagues, that would be just great. Because I kind of feel like I get smashed up against that card every time. So we'll see this time. Right, Sharon, I'm going to just create a you choose dealer's choice.
I am ready. I'm ready. Ready.
Just while we're waiting for things to load, over the last few days, I've had somewhat of a renewed interest in Netrunner, which has been floundering the last couple of weeks.
Oh dear, is it because you've been watching us?
Have we put you off?
That's because people have been refusing to put the right number of cards in the deck, yes. But I've been talking but part of that is talking to people on Discord about the startup meta and what they think the good decks are and what the counterplay is to those decks, if there is such a thing, and in some cases there isn't. But in all those discussions, Clearinghouse didn't get mentioned once. And yet, we've just started doing. I wish there was a card that was less dominant than Clearinghouse.
Right, for me, right, our meta consists of whatever Sharon and I are putting in our decks, and well, I'll be honest with you. This week, Sharon, I've made you a Weyland deck with no clearinghouses in it to fight against.
Wow.
Yeah. Or have I? Dave? Or have I? Huh?
I cannot possibly say I possibly cannot say the same.
Yeah, sure. Ah. So wait, so Mark, nobody's using clearinghouses to ruin other people's days, I assume, because they require you to be stupid to fall for that sort of trick, right?
I mean, I'm not saying no one's playing Clearinghouse. I myself have played with and against Clearinghouse, but in the discussions of the most popular, most dominant decks, Clearinghouse wasn't mentioned in those hushed tones.
Gotcha.
Well, the thing is that
I'll see if I can change that, Mark.
We should talk very briefly about this game. We've got Sharon on Earth Station, Weyland, excellent.
Yay!
First mission accomplished. And Dave has gone for a House Along the build with double Parisia opening, which no one expected.
Yeah. This is the thing that should not be. This is Wreck It Ralph. Because I plan on wrecking it. That's
What do you mean?
So I realised that if I was going to come up against an Earth station, I was going to need to spend a lot, right? Oh my god, that was quick. Okay.
I thought I'd get one in.
Sure, yeah, that makes a bunch of sense, I suppose.
The audience is on the edge of its seat, waiting to see if Dave has actually read Parisia and will it do everything he wants it to. But we'll come on to that later.
Now, Jess in chat said if Dave has a certain card, double Parisius is great. Which card could she be talking about?
Well, I'm not sure exactly. My guess would be Aesop, but Aesop's not in our card pool yet, I don't think.
Aesop is. Aesop is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we're going to see Aesop then in the future. Or we could just see...
okay, so I looked at the way that
Wall
to Wall can get in the sea, right? Wall to Wall can get in the sea, ergo two Parisians. I've drawn them both. That's it. And they were very convenient for me, I'm sure. But I'll put that out just
hi,
in
Disperse.
case.
Welcome to the stream. As Jessica says, we are talking about. We are playing in startup format, so we are.
I mean, Dave, all I'm going to say is that was bloody lucky.
Yeah.
And now we've worked our way through system update. And now we're into the Ashes cycle, adding them roughly one pack per episode. Sorry, one faction per episode, not a pack. That would be a long episode.
What are you going to do, Dave?
I'm just going to break this, and I'm going to give you the credit.
Yay!
You're welcome.
Ugh.
Now, the question for you there, Sharon, is did you forget to use your ID
and flip it?
Or did you think it just wasn't necessary?
Did you remember to flip it?
ID, limit one remote server. As an additional cost to run HQ, the runner must pay 1 credit.
Yep, to run HQ. Or...
But you didn't run HQ,
No,
so...
but if you click it, you flip the identity, and if you have a look at the other side, it makes it spectacularly expensive for me to run the remote, I think.
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Please.
Suspected.
I don't want to act before the run, Dave. I accidentally clicked that.
That's fine.
Right, back to you.
There we go.
What you gonna do?
Just one of those. One click. And I'm going to draw 3 cards with it, and then it's your go.
All right.
Okay.
I mean,
Points on the board.
I'm glad you did that, I guess.
Points on the board. Here we go. Okay. Sure.
Is that when it's at home?
You've got 1 click left.
Very important click.
This could be the click that makes it.
Could be the click that makes it, really.
Jess, it was an important steal because
Indeed
it
it
was
was.
worth spending in order to stop that from going bananas. I think.
I mean, I would have tried to get as much money as possible off that. That was wise, Dave.
Of course, I would hope so.
And I was low on money.
Okay. Oh, that's flipping pricey, isn't it?
How was
You
your
were
day
unlucky
today,
to the
Matt?
extent that you
Put
didn't
out a
know
code
that
game.
you didn't know Unity. Dave had a Unity in hand, and if he hadn't, then it would have been pretty safe behind that Horton. But obviously, using the flippity flip on the ID would have made it a lot more difficult. So the fact that Dave ended his turn on exactly 6 credits meant that had he wanted to, even if he'd flipped, he could have just gone Hail Mary on your remote and
afforded it.
still got in. Yeah.
1,
True.
2, 3. Oh no,
there.
nuts! Yeah, okay, yep. I miscounted my clicks. That's cool. I'm fine.
Were you going to run my R&D, Dave?
Absolutely.
Oop.
Oh boy.
Didn't do what Mark always tells us to do.
Draw first.
Draw first.
Also, be conscious of your credit totals.
Of course I
Sometimes
am.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what everyone says on 1 credit.
Yeah.
Jess can see a card that she likes. I think she can only see Dave's deck. Oh, bollocks. The card that you like, Jess. What is this card?
Okay. I'm going to.
What's that you've got, Dave? Resource?
I mean, I might as well do it like this so I get ready to use it. Okay.
Hey, Dave, why are you running with a conduit? You don't have any tokens on it.
As I said, I might as well get used to doing it this way so that I don't forget to do it this way in future.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's quite an expensive run for you, though, Dave.
It is.
Yeah, but he's got telework contract out. Fancy giving me that extra credit?
I do actually. It's a 1 credit swing, and having you on 2 credits is not terrifying. Access the server. Yeah, I'd like to trash that.
Oh,
Yes,
disperse. It's not champagne, it's prosecco.
Because that's gross.
Because I'm only slightly fancy. And I hate whiskey.
Okay.
Now, the other question I have for you there, Dave, is
Yeah.
with Sharon on 1 credit, why did you choose to run the only server that was iced?
Yeah, correct. I could have run the other servers, and actually it would have been cheap as flipping chips to run even HQ right then, because
Sharon's got
Resonance.
something very cheap, like maybe an ice wall or something. There's not much you can res for
Mark,
credits.
why would you
No.
be giving Dave,
It's
suggestions.
true. You may install one card from your...
I'm enjoying
just
the chat
pointing
at the moment.
out that you've got to be aware of what your opponent's doing. So even though you have spent money on a conduit, when every other server is more inviting, just run out of it because
Oh
you've
my
got
God, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure.
So, Dave, what you can extrapolate from what Mark is describing is I've got 2 ice walls
You
out
have
protecting
to-
my other servers.
Well, the thing is, right? Yeah. What are the chances I'm going to run into a zero cost something that messes me up? Probably quite low. I would have
Well,
thought, right? So if I do server one, potentially, right? So you're playing a Weyland deck, and you'll have assumed that you're getting tons and tons of money from Guff. There it is. There's the zero. It's a flipping ice wall. Yeah. Okay. So it's strength 1.
not quite repty though. It's just
No, that's fine.
now,
Yeah.
while you're thinking, Dave, I'm going to jump onto the chat. Jess loves whiskey. Dispersus mentioned the whiskey while kicking up your shoes on a corporate desk in a high-rise office building, and I assume that's a good thing.
This is my current.
Okonomi Chiaki
you
has said
call
he wants some Netrunner cocktails. So I think when we have a break, we should think about Netrunner cocktails to make.
Okay. I'm
Maybe
gonna have.
when we're all in person and play the next games in
Oh,
person.
what? We're not drinking them now because I've got 4 different tonics for one type of gin. So I was thinking that might work reasonably well.
I have Prosecco, and I also have a gin gift set, which I did buy for my sister, but it was too heavy to post. It would basically cost a lot to post, and so I've now got various flavoured gin and tonics, and port.
if there's any chance we can play some Netrunner today.
We are. What do you think?
Sharon, it's your go.
I find the subroutines. Dave got some money.
I know it's outlandish. I know that the viewers don't even come for the Netrunner. They come for the band and we're not even. We're half an hour in. We've taken like 3 turns.
Yep. It's our regular speed. This strawberry and cream pale ale is excellent. Excellent.
Still want Netrunner cocktails. I
I
think we could do something fun with dry ice.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Did you not expect that? You should have expected.
Wait, what did you do? You drew a card and you drew another card.
Yeah, it was an excellent card to draw 3 credits. Okay, you know what? Bumholes to it. Go. It costs you increased by 3. So so it's only 0 ices we can expect to see here. Yep. Delightful. Yeah. Oh, right. You can advance this ice. It gets +1 for each. Yeah. Now I've got to make a choice as to which. You know what? I'm going to. Oh no! What? Oh, Yes. Right. Sorry. Did the order wrong there. Let's switch those around. Gain 1. Yes. Install 1. Hell yes. Choose card to install that one. End the turn. Yeah.
It's the lesser spotted Trip Parisia deck.
It's a classic. You'll see this at your next competitive event. Yeah, in the trash decks that are available for free section. Yeah.
Speaking of trashing.
Oh no.
You, Dave.
Dang, that was quick. Sure, not that quick though.
SDS drone deployment.
Trash and installed program.
I am actually happy you ran HQ then.
What did I lose? My Unity? Sure.
Yeah.
Gain a pantograph.
Pantograph is such a good card.
Let's have a look. Yes, we'll install this one. We want to spend 1.
What are you installing?
Okay,
What's this?
swap ice, yes.
Atman.
Nice
Clever
move.
man.
There we go.
Oh, wait. Why did I just end my turn?
Because you had no clicks left?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise it was still my turn. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry, that was all during my shape of bullshit. I got to do most of my stuff during your turn there.
Got it.
Sentry. Okay, sure.
Double down, Dave. Double down.
You reckon it's time to go ham? I suppose. One of those.
As well.
No. What are you doing? What are you going?
What? I mean, oh wait, what? Ah, you're right. Holy cow! I could have just run HQ for free twice. Wow.
You can run R&D for as many times as you want for a credit.
Run it for a credit.
Yeah, but you can
undo click. Wait. Okay. Chill.
God damn it, Mark.
Chill. Wait. Chill. It's this. Make this. That! There! That's what it is! Right, okay. Sure. Break one
You did all the right things with your pantograph install.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to take 3 credits off telework
and then
make
go
3
for it.
runs on R&D.
Yeah, and I almost did. And then I panicked because I had nothing in hand, and I was like, oh no, it's start of the turn.
Honestly.
Oh, what? Yeah, boy! Yeah, 1 from each. You access wall to wall. Yeah, look at this! Fucking value! Pardon my French. Woo! Yes!
That's what those Parisias were for.
Yeah, they were! Woo! Sorry, Sharon, it's your go.
I hope someone clipped that. Holy moly, that doesn't happen every day.
After that obnoxious cack. Hell yes. Now we're talking. Off. Oh, okay, sure. Well, I know what's at the back there. Oh, what? No? Okay,
No.
sure. My guess was, right, if I was to guess what that was, it was something like a reduced service going down. But now you're not so sure. Right, okay, yep. Okay.
That's all I need. Done. Go for it, Dave.
Okay, so the average cost of a piece of 1 strength ice is probably 0 or 1, right? Which means the chances that is a piece of ice that you can currently res is pretty high, because you wouldn't have put it there otherwise. Yep. However, I'm ready for it! Right, okay, continue to encounter ice. Break 1 subroutine. End the run. Pass ice and continue. Continue to encounter ice.
To be honest, I forgot about Atman when I put it out.
Break 1 subroutine. No, it's doubled the cost of my run against it. End the run. Pass ice and continue. And then we access the server. Poo.
I mean,
Wait,
to be honest,
what?
Dave, you're in a really good position.
Pay 1 to steal. Why am I paying 1 to steal?
Same, because it's an additional cost to steal that agenda. You must sacrifice a program.
Okay. Sure.
You may sacrifice anything you want. Because it will win the game.
And also, I had 3 Parisias.
It was a really good job, Dave. Really, really good.
It was a toss-up between Parisia and Atman, really.
Yeah, coming to a competition near you, I'm telling you.
I need to see where all my goddamn frickin' money cards were. Right at the end. Joy of joys. Oh, well, that's the game, isn't it?
Yeah, GG. That was...
Good game, man.
Oh, the wall-to-walls.
That was really, really good, Dave.
What lost you the wall-to-walls there? Why did they not come out that often? Like, 2 of them were in your junk.
Just didn't come out. Well, no, wait. They just didn't come out.
I can't remember what trashed them.
So I I literally wasn't paying attention right at the start of the game, and I got 3 agendas in hand and 2 ice. No, 3 ice and 2 agendas, and then the next draw was an agenda, and I was like, all right, I'll put the ice out, and then I got another agenda, and then you stole an agenda from HQ, and you also got an agenda from R&D. So I think it was just agenda heavy. I should have mulliganed that hand.
Oh, that was what we were trashing with the Parisias. For some reason, I thought it was a different card entirely that I trashed there. Nope, that's good because that was the entire reason I put Parisias in there was to trash wall to walls. So
it was a good one.
That was
a good call.
Prescient Parisias, you could say.
The double wall to wall with 3 Parisias was the most beautiful and ridiculous thing I've seen for some time.
I know, Dave. That was an incredible draw.
Oh, that was so lucky. That was like magical Christmas land, to be fair. Okay, yep. Maybe I should.
To be honest, just to be clear, I think you're probably going to get another win.
Oh, what? Oh, well, it depends what you're playing against.
Guys, just quickly, what's the ID, the runner ID, where the first card you encounter is a code gate?
Oh, real kit.
Got it.
In the deck selector.
Got it. Oh, it's not letting me select. Oh no, I've selected it. Go, Dave, go. And just to be clear, apparently we took only 30 minutes in that game.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty damn good. Let's see if we can do this in 20, Dave.
Okay, doing it in 20. Right.
Station deck, and to nobody's surprise, kit.
Surprise.
Okay.
Alan, this kit deck has 51 cards in it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
If this is still the same kit deck from about a month ago.
10 out of 10, Sharon. It's the same deck, and you've just added cards. That's what I'm really hoping for, right? The deck that keeps getting like slipped down at the end of every stream, where Mark's like, "It's too big, do something," and you're like, "I've taken 2 whole cards out," and next stream you're like, "It's the kit deck, but I've added 6 cards." That's what I'm really hoping for here. Right, start turn, hedge. Then I'm going to.
Wait, what are you doing? What are you up to? Start game. Shoot, I've forgotten what was in my deck.
Oh boy.
My decks.
That happens a lot when you've got so many cards.
Hush.
Ha!
Oh. Kit. All about the code gate.
Oh no.
Do you think it was that bad, Mark?
What's
my
not
heap?
that bad?
Nothing?
Okay, sorry. This is really tough.
Come on, Dave. You can do it. You've got 9 credits. Jess thinks you should do what she thinks you're considering.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I've got enough clicks for it, Jess. Not to do it justice next turn. Yeah, you know what? Naked.
Play only
Oh, what is
four.
going on?
Dang it. Dang it! I should have put. Look, okay, so I panicked. I thought originally that was my plan. Then I thought I should have done this. The stream is seeing the card that I'm thinking now on HQ plus this, right? And I think that would have been smarter. But yeah, in fact no, you're right. I didn't need to play the fund.
No,
I didn't
just
need
so
the
we're
money.
clear, when Jess was saying, please do what we think you're considering, nobody was thinking what you actually did. Basically, that wasn't under consideration by anybody.
Yep.
Anyway, Sharon, how are you going to respond to this lunacy?
I don't know. I feel like I should run server 1 and just pay the full credits if it's an agenda, because Davis played NAPD Cordon.
Right.
Ludicrous.
Okay, let's go for it.
Ludicrous. No further actions. Dang it. I messed that right up. I should have put the thing out, done that, and then hit the cordon as well. Arse. Okay, this is fine. It's a minor misplay.
I'd like to call it an aggressive start, but what it actually was a start of pure lunacy. Had Sharon not stolen it, you still couldn't have scored it, and then the cordon would have gone away.
Yep.
I've had a card which could make me pay more. No, wait, that's not Sandtown City Grid. That gives you an advancement token, doesn't it? What cards make you pay more if you go on a server? And Anoetic Void?
That costs you it can make it impossible to get in the server. You've got Skunk Works that makes it difficult to make a successful run. You've also got the Earth Station ability. So now, if you want to make a run on the remote server, because Dave has flipped his ID, you will have to pay 6 credits to start that run.
Dave, I don't know about you, but I had completely forgotten about that ability on Earth Station.
Oh, really?
Have you remembered it?
The flip thing? Yeah, I was kind of. That was why I put in the conduit and stuff, was because I was like, there is absolutely no way I'm going to be able to afford to run an ascending to orbit side Earth station, right? I'm just not going to be able to. So I should attack a different area. That was why I thought conduit was coming.
Jess has pointed out you didn't need to play the hedge fund, so you could have flipped your ID.
And made it very expensive and actually impossible for you to afford.
I
have, however, flipped my ID, yeah. And I think I might have done this, a crappy way round as well, but we'll see.
Yeah, this is still crazy. It's less crazy than you first thought.
It's less crazy. That's because I'm constantly thinking that I've got more clicks than I actually have. So we'll see how this goes.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. You're right. That was yep. Yep. It was either that or pop the. Oh, no further actions.
Yeah.
Oh. Sure. Good luck. Are you just running R&D 3 times?
Yeah.
Is that the? Why did I just see a wall to wall? Oh, you paid 3 to trash it. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I really did that.
Cool.
With no Parisias, that's an expensive 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Mark. But look, I am playing a deck. Look, I will be open and honest. I dicked around this weekend. I didn't fully concentrate on building a new deck and refining a previous deck. It's just happened. It's happened. We are where we are.
What was different about this weekend to every other weekend?
I went on holiday. I had a mini break. I walked with llamas. It was amazing. I had chestnut ale every night. It was incredible.
That does sound very nice.
It was wonderful.
It's your go. Chestnut ale.
Oh God, it was so good, Dave. I wish I'd taken a photo of it, of the name of the ale. You've put something in front of server 1.
Yeah, look,
You
neither of
haven't
us installed any
advanced it.
cards for like a couple of turns, a good couple of turns. Nobody's got anything on the board. You don't actually own a card yet, so yeah, I figured I might as
Rude.
well chuck something out there, just for something different to do, something interesting. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, okay. Oh, excuse me. Right.
Install agenda, advance
Yeah.
advance, play NAPD. Do you have an NAPD in your deck, Dave?
I have done. Yeah, you saw me use an NAPD, and you've trashed one.
Of course I have.
Of course I have. Yep.
Right, everyone, this is the last glass of Prosecco, and I am very sad about that.
I think in the interests of getting the stream completed, though, we're all quite pleased about that.
I mean, you say that, Mark, but I feel like I've been playing relatively quickly. Unlike Dave.
Wow.
Think about my whole life, Dave.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, you're right. I should stop thinking. Maybe stop drinking.
Why don't you have any cards in HQ?
Because it makes running HQ pointless, except for turning off my ID. Pointless.
To you, Dave.
Yeah.
Why didn't I use telework contract?
Oh no. Oh, a femme fatale. Okay.
Dave, that was my last turn.
Okay.
Honestly.
2, 3, score.
Rubbish.
Purge.
What's this, then?
Yes, I love money.
What's this, then?
I can purge virus counters for 4 credits in a turn, which means that my click for credit on that is worth 1.3, sorry. Clicks per 1.3 click credits per click. You see, it's cash money. It's value.
I love maths, and that's wonderful. But back to you, Dave.
Sure. Heyo.
Where are my programs? Oh. Interesting.
Weird. It's weird that I can get money for advancing an agenda. That's weird.
I know, that's a good one, isn't it?
Yep.
Like, I mean,
the Oaktone the Weyland ability to get rewards for advancing their agendas. As I've mentioned 19 or 20 times, that made sense for one faction to have that ability until all factions now have it with Cyberdeck Sandbox Offload Offers.
Sure, yeah.
To Dave.
Oh no. Am I the very definition of a shithead?
Yes.
Correct, I am actually. Correct, yep. Let's go. Right, if you're doing this, I'm going to go. 1.
I mean, you know what would be nice? If I had any of my code breaker programs come out. Code Gate Breaker. That would be quite nice.
You see, perhaps, Dave, Wise, that move what was somewhat shit-headed. There's a slight issue with your plan.
Yeah. Right, wait. Wait. Yes, I do see. But I've got future shithead plans as well
Okay,
to
sure.
consider, right? Like
Tell me.
But just in
that's
terms of sequencing,
it's 50% shithead. Yeah.
Right,
It's
just to be clear, I'm not going to win this. So
It-
just explain why the sequencing was wrong.
prior shithead preparation prevents piss poor performance at a later date. So it's shitheady because it's ineffectual, right? The card that I put down cost me a click to chuck down, and I can't actually use it yet. That's why it's.
Why?
But it is because it's got costs.
But you've got loads of money.
It's got costs, loads of money. But what if it had a cost that wasn't money? What if there was something else that I had to do in order to make it work? A mayfly?
I mean, why not, really?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Oh, hello. Oh.
Okay.
you're still not using telework contract. Is this deliberately saving up or something? Or?
Oh my God, Mark! It's because I keep forgetting I've got it. You know what would be nice? You know how, like, when Dave is doing his moves and you chime in, you're like, "Oh, Dave,
It's your go. My moves are
X
over.
and Y," and I'm like, "Oh, why are you giving Dave help?" It's like, why didn't you say at the start of my turn, Sharon, use telework contract. You've got 6 credits for 2 clicks.
Sharon,
Like,
it's the
God,
beginning
Mark,
of your
that would be
turn.
amazing.
Sharon, it's the beginning of your turn. You should use telework contract.
It's too late for that.
Sure.
Too late. I've already realised after Mark's comment.
The surest of gambles.
Thank you, Jessica. What do I want to do? What do I have in my heap? What does Femme Fatale do again?
Femme Fatale picks out and attacks one specific piece of ice. So when you install it, you choose a piece of ice, and when you encounter that piece of ice, you may pay 1 credit for each subroutine it has if you do bypass that ice, which means that you can't pay less than the full number of subroutines it has, but you don't have to match it, so it's significantly cheaper. Yeah.
Archives. If successful, yes.
Sure.
Retrieval run. Proof of progress. Yes. Choose a piece of ice. Yes. Hooray!
Interesting. Sure.
Give me an ice.
Yeah, res it. Why not? Because it's still going to cost you credits.
Well, I mean, it would anyway.
Yeah.
Give me an ice.
No
Give me
further
an ice.
actions.
I'm so disgusted,
Choose
Dave.
an option. Conduit on. Don't forget to auto-advance your conduit. Right, okay.
I have done that.
Start turn. Let's do one of those. Let's do...
What did you do?
A hedge fund.
Hedge fund. Jesus.
Yeah.
You don't need 18 credits, Dave. Just give some to me. Just do it.
Server 2. And then...
I'm disgusted.
Advance Areno. Use. It's your go. It's your go. Mark, I think I've discovered the trick to keeping these games a little faster.
What's that? Is it to know your cards and just go for it?
It's any drinks higher than 5%.
I'm mean, that helps.
They seem to be handling. Yeah, you're right. It is a good ice to bypass.
We all should be on drinks stronger than 5%. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for sure. All of us continue to encounter ice. Pay your credits.
I will. Yes.
Good luck to you. Go fish. Anoetic void, and you paid for it as well.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I? Choose one program. Right, let's do this again.
Sure.
It's Witten's now on a Hail Mary. Oh, no.
It is a Hail Mary. Dave's on 4 and he's got another blasted, whatchamacallit? Agenda.
Potentially. Or a clearinghouse. That would be giggles.
Wait, choose one installed program to trash.
Oh, actually, one.
What
No.
I'll steal that! What?
Yes!
What the hell? What on earth? What?
This is the biggest miscarriage since OJ. This is incredible.
I was robbed.
Whoa, Mark.
I was absolutely robbed at gunpoint.
I mean, Sod Kit, she had bloody nothing to do with that victory.
That was like not looking at your
Game
cards,
easy.
not thinking about your cards. That was just.
Look, I thought about my cards very, very briefly.
That is. Oh no, I've no words. I've absolutely no words.
It's Netrunner for you, isn't it? Live! Livid! Dave, where are all those, like, fancy mini videos of what you were going to play when you won or lost? And the sound effects. Where are the sound effects? I want the toot and horn sound effect.
Livid. I'm so butthurt right now. I'm so butthurt. I played a decent game. I just tried. My mum would be proud. I just wanted good things, you know? I only wanted good things. And this is what I get. I get treated like a mug by Jinteki once again. Plus side, that game only took 18 minutes.
Yeah, that's even better.
The one mistake I felt you made, Dave, was when you put the second piece of ice on HQ rather than.
Yeah. It was because. It was because what I should have realised, there was no way that Sharon would have read the identity either. And so I completely didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right. I should have put
rude, Dave.
a second.
So rude.
Have you? Do you know how to turn off Earth Station?
No.
No. No. Right.
Like mental bubble for the last week.
So I was entirely correct, is what you're saying. You didn't read my ID at all, or your own last game.
I played it. You still didn't read it.
So yeah, you're right. I should have doubled down on protecting R&D. I just didn't expect to get like drawn over the coals by random chance like that. The worst part is those are my highest scoring agendas. Highest scoring, like three don't you start with the lulls. This is right. The highest scoring agendas, 3 each, right? And they both come up at once. I've got. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look at the available agendas in here.
Hang on. I'm coming on to Twitch.
Right. So everything else in there, the other agendas are 2 score agendas. What I'm hoping here is to make it to get one odd agenda and the rest evens and not care too much. What did I get? 3 even agendas, and Sharon got the odds out.
I did. I was very lucky.
In one run, where you accessed 3 cards. I'm so bitter. I am a lemon. I am a lemon.
Do you know what? There was a little bit of thought behind it, because in the run before, I'd trashed 2 of your cards, and one of them I couldn't do anything with. I knew that was the card you were going to draw next. So for me, I had 3 brand new cards, and the odds are 5 cards. There was going to be an agenda. 5 or 40 cards. I was like hoping there would be an agenda.
One agenda I could have maybe flipping handled, like one agenda I would have been like, oh, fair enough, there's an agenda. I kind of get what I deserve, and I'm prepared for this. But it wasn't, was it? It wasn't one agenda, was it? It was my 2 highest scoring agendas. It was my 2 highest scoring agendas, and I.
All right, so what happened? I made a run. I got Aket. I used Femme Fatale, and then I trashed Anoetic Void. And I trashed my Mayfly to seal. Oh, yeah. SDS drone deployment in the turn before. Yep. No, you're right. Got a 3 and a 3. But to be honest, I could have gotten a 3 and a 2. It would have still worked.
Yeah, you could have easily got a 3 and a 2, but you didn't, did you? You got my 2 3s.
I did.
Yeah, that was the
No
dumbest
one was expecting to
Hail Mary
lose 2 agendas in 4 cards. I mean, it can happen, of course it can, but that was.
I was very lucky, and I will take it. This has made me so extremely happy, Dave.
Well, I'm glad you're pleased.
I'm going to take that to bed. I've run out of Prosecco. I don't even care.
What, taking celebratory drinks? Right, okay.
Well, actually, to be fair, until that last go, they were commiseration drinks. Preemptive commiseration drinks.
This was Mark's eventual plan, right? Was we would get fast at games. It turns out Jinteki also had that plan, right? Fine. But now it's rematch time, I think. Right?
Really?
Right?
Can I rematch you as Weyland Corp?
Yeah, because I don't.
You can allow that.
Well, the part.
I might make him explode.
The session, this part of the stream now is where we're supposed to look at your Weyland decks and talk about why you made up the cards that went in them, and think about the deck building process. But all we've seen is Weyland get rinsed twice. So
my Weyland deck is chuffing perfect.
So is mine.
Okay, it's not.
So
it's not.
Mine.
It's not. I needed
Both
card
our
draw.
Decks, it was a 1-hour build.
I needed card draw in there. Or something.
Let's have some rematches, sure.
Yeah, right.
Can I take a quick comfort break?
Of
Because
course.
I've had a whole bottle of Prosecco.
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right
suppose
back.
so. Right. Look, okay. We can't beat around the bush there. I got absolutely ragged. Unfairly. I might point out. To say that I am absolute lemons about this is to not even cover how lemons I truly am. Okay, I'm the king of lemons. I'm the citrus count. Yeah, I'm Mr. Orange, lemon and grapefruit mashed together. I'm the citrus. I'm so bitter. But the thing is, I'm also salty. I'm very salty. I'm a tequila slammer without the fun bit right now. I'm that, and those are the flavors I've chosen. Right? I am the end of annoyed. I tell you what, CMSD, that was Jinteki taking the pith. Yeah, my zest for life has gone down the drain. This made me very ill.
Puns, we've got them.
Yeah. It's rage puns now. That's the thing. It's rage puns, and it's going to make me play like absolute dump from this point on. Yeah, if you thought I was
Oh, you're
misplaying
gonna be on
before,
tilt.
yeah,
Fully on tilt.
if you thought I was on tilt previously, playing like old bums before, this time you're about to see some real negative feelings. Look, right, the good part about card games is the deck, the random factor in the deck. That's what stops it from just being who's the greatest deck builder ever. Can you make the greatest sequence of cards in a row, right? That's kind of how it works. So I'm
You want to play a game without luck? Play chess.
precisely, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I love chess. I love chess. But I I love card games because of the randomness. So you can't get too actually angry at this sort of shenanigans happening.
It's what makes it more fun and exciting.
Yeah.
Unless you're, of course, unless you're betting on it and you're like losing your home deposit, something.
Yeah, of course. You wouldn't actually gamble more than half of what you can afford to lose ever.
Well, some people do, don't they?
Yeah. Well, simple.
I used to love
simple
going
life
to
rules.
Asper's just for like a £50 night out, but watching people gamble like huge amounts of money away was just really stressful. I was
Yeah.
anxious on their behalf, and I'm like, well, of course you're dealing with your own stuff, but honestly,
I've seen
Ridiculous.
I've seen Magic games turn people, right? Absolutely turn them from seemingly reasonable human beings into absolute monsters when they play competitive Magic. And yeah, it was half the reason I stopped playing tournament Magic is because it's just full of people who care too much, almost, like it's yeah, it can really twist people. So just zen out. That's what you got to do. Peace. It's fine. Random chance hates me. You deserve the win because otherwise it wouldn't be fair. There would be no balance, and I'm a-okay
Dave,
with
I
balance.
can't join your game. It won't let me.
Right. Oh, okay.
It's not a password issue, as I can demonstrate.
Oh, really? I will swap to any side. Try that. Try joining now.
No, it's a password issue, Dave.
Mark's
Sharon's
used the
got caps lock
password.
on.
Yeah,
get in.
Sharon, have you got caps lock on? In your celebration, did you bite the gold, shake up your champagne, mash caps lock, kiss the lady with the medal, and then walk off in actually second place here because you played a second place game? What? Oh!
I mean, honestly, that would have still been a fantastic celebration. I would have taken it. But no, it's a password issue.
Okay,
right, let's try again.
I'm gonna remake then. Sorry, Mark. Let's try it again. Okay, new game. Here we go.
There was the chances of user error were around 100%.
Pebcac, right? Problem exists between keyboard and chair.
And
Here
now
we
you're
go.
even allowing spectators, so I can't even watch. So
I've got allow spectators on,
Whoa.
Mark. You can see on the stream it says allow spectators.
It does say allow spectators, Mark.
What now? Huh? What now? I spend all day, every day, troubleshooting feckin' PC issues and computers and the like. I don't need it now. Here we go. Right. There we are. It's go time.
The longer.
It's go time. Now, don't forget, Sharon, do not forget your ID's ability. You got this. Easy peasy. Mulligan. Start the game.
Oh,
Oh, good. Cool. I mulliganed
tweak your
wisely.
Taos longer deck, Dave.
Hey?
Did you tweak your Taos longer deck?
In between the two games where we were playing a game, I haven't tweaked it.
Dave,
Should
why does
I?
your Toast Longer deck have 44 cards in it?
Because it said minimum 40, and I may have got confused and tried to and if you look at my corp deck, I may have the exact number of cards in that deck as your card limit, and I may have added them to this deck instead.
On a day of unlikely events where we've seen Hail Mary R&D runs win, we've seen 3 Parisia installs give value, the most unlikely thing that's happened is that Sharon's Corp has got 49 cards in it.
It's reasonably, yeah, outlandish. Oh, okay. Let's see what we're charging into here. I don't like in general, running face first into ice. Just to check what the ice is.
But you still did it, Dave.
Yeah.
Much like I'm still having my third Milka wafer.
I do.
Cookie.
I do it every time because I'm desperate to see what it is. Because I can't just wait, stick around and wait. You know, I've got to go. So yeah. Sharon, I've asked to do a thing. Cool.
Wait, what?
Right, 3, 4,
Can I undo
5.
that?
What? What did you do?
It's an absolutely legal move.
Did you?
It's a surprising move.
Did you advance my pantograph? Did you advance my pantograph?
That is exactly what happened.
No, I'm happy. I'm happy with this.
I didn't understand what was going on. I thought he said trash a card.
What? Trash a card? Are you dizzy? As they say. Okay, let's go. Come on. Come on, flip it over. There we go. Let Unbroken fire. Go for it. Okay, now you've got to choose. Sure, yeah. I mean, that probably makes a bit more sense than my pantograph. I'll be honest.
So the thing about face checking ice early on, yes, it's about being aggressive and what have you, but the other part of it is, if you don't make the corp res things early, then they're going to be able to build up their cash very easily.
They keep their
dosh. Playing their hedge funds and playing their government subsidies and what have you. Whereas if you make them spend the money, that puts them on the back foot.
Yeah.
4 credits is not too bad, but if that had gone down to 0 credits, as we saw in the last game, then it's very difficult for them to claw their way back.
Yeah, for sure. It becomes tougher for them, right? And that's what you need, is to gain a momentum advantage, because it's just a tug of war, and your credits seem to be a reasonable indicator of that, how well that tug of war's going. Certainly within the first 5 to 10 turns, maybe it feels like that. But yeah, let's see how this goes. Okay, one of those.
Wait, what have you done? Sure, gamble, diesel.
All right. Let's have a little look. See, what's that?
What's what? What are you looking at?
Oh, I don't know whether to. You know what? Just in case, and then let's do it.
Oh, Parisia.
Just in case. Oh, whoa!
It's not worth it.
Da 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 da. Boom!
Ow. Take it.
Absolutely worth it. Parisia, best card in the game. I'm telling you, it's had a value every time I've used it. You know what I hate? Assets.
Penny Shaver. Oh,
Assets
sorry.
that you can resolve. No, Penny Shaver. Penny Shaver's a great card. I hate assets. Assets that the corp gets. And destroying them free, that's my absolute jam. So, I'm reasonably happy with that. Oh! Okay. Oh, analysis paralysis. No, that's unfair. I shouldn't speed things along by saying things like, "Oh my God, have you got analysis paralysis?"
It's absolutely fair, Dave, because I did, and in the end, I was just like, "Fuck it." Sorry. Fuck it.
Sure. It's a little late for bleeping yourself. Wait, what? What just happened?
What? I gave you 6 credits. You wanted the money, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's only one natural progression for me, Dave.
Oh, there is, except last time Sharon had zip in the way of credits, like of a couple, and she didn't res on R&D, which means it's a free R&D. Let's go. That's like a trebuchet or something goofy like that. Play 3 to trash, yeah. End the turn. Wait a minute.
Fortunately, you can't use Parisias on upgrades.
No, but Skunk Void, you are scum, Sharon. Skunk Void, scum.
What do you mean?
Terrible.
What are you
Anoetic
talking
Void and
about,
Skunk
Dave?
Works. Anoetic Void and Skunk Works.
You didn't see an anoetic void.
Despicable.
You didn't see that.
Despicable. Despicable.
All you accessed was Skunk Works. You have no idea whether or not I've got an anoetic void in this deck, or a clearinghouse, or a snare.
Sure. Okay.
Right,
what?
I've eaten quite a few Milko chocolate wafers, and this is going to be my last because it is the only one left.
Okay. I'm not in a safe position to do this, but let's give it a bash.
Go.
Barrier. Yeah, go for it. Fire. Okay, sure.
You want to run server 1 again, Dave?
Not yet, but I will. Just give me a moment.
Nice.
At this point, Sharon, at the start of your turn, I will remind you that Earth Station is not a blank ID.
Rats. I thought we were going to get a repeat. Cost you a click, though. Quah. And what a click. Eh? And what a click.
6 credits, yes. Super duper. What to do?
Okay, I think I'm prepared for next turn, no matter what's going on. Oh my gosh. Okay, sure. Right. Yep. That, then... That, then... I think... what am I looking at here? Barrier. then I think I do this. What have I got in here? I don't have anything appropriate, so I guess I'm searching my stack. Ah,
Love a good test run.
Heck, now I've got to remember what each of these attacks. Hang on. I will remember this.
None of them break barriers, so you haven't brought a fracture with you.
No, I haven't brought a fractor with me. Of course I haven't brought it. Well, yeah, obviously, I haven't brought a fractor with me. Why would I do that? That would be
So
goofy.
that you can break barriers, Dave.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. No, you're right. One would assume that I would do that. But there are always other options, you know. Other options including. Oh no, that's a 0 for something to be on the top of my deck, so that I can then play it next turn. 'Cause yeah, okay, yep, 0 please. Yep, cool. End the turn. Now I know where it is. Okay, goofy filtering. Sure. God.
Sensible.
It's not that sensible, Sharon. It's honestly not that sensible.
Oh, why can't I put that there? Trying to install something on a new remote and it won't let me.
Because you're not allowed.
You need to check your ID.
Earth station ascending to orbit.
ID.
Limit 1 remote server.
Rubbish.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty cool.
Sure.
No.
Okay. Sure.
What have I done so far? Oh.
Is that
no,
better be a
go away Windows box.
A Crisium grid, so that I have to
so I
trash the Crisium grid first
got a credit.
before I can get it.
Installed a card.
Sure. This is getting pricey.
Oh, that's exciting.
Sure.
Oh, I think I'll gain a credit.
Lovely. Right. Start turn. One of these. One of these. One of these. One of these.
I think I can deal with those.
Turn. Your go.
There's a lot of offshore money.
It is a lot of offshore cash.
In that, like the Jimmy Carr of.
Yeah. Oh, great. Great.
Oh man, just got down to 5 cards. What do I want to get rid of?
Why wouldn't you advance that earlier?
Oh, reasons.
I guess I'm going to be drawing cards for my life. Yep. Cool. Yep. Cool.
Draw cards, Dave. Just keep the number of cards you have. Like, you don't need more cards. It's fine.
Okay, it's currently at 2. Shit, this is going to be too pricey for me not to. Okay, go.
Goodbye, Atman.
Oh, sure.
But then you have a pantograph, so.
Wow. Yeah. Oof. Is a pain in the bum to choose. Let's have a look.
I mean, you've got 16 credits, so you can probably install anything you like.
Yep.
Okay, wait, what have you swapped? Aket protecting HQ with ice protecting R&D. Are you sure, Dave?
Yeah, we're going to give it a go. Right. Cool. Can I have
Sure
my...
you wrote the power counters you put there, Dave?
3? Yeah. I'm taking a flying gamble, Mark.
Well, sure. I mean, it's not the value of any of the ice you can see, but
No, and that's why it's a flying gamble. But I am going to pop this out, pop this down. Oh shit, this is a gamble. Okay, and then run HQ. Oh! Choose card to... Choose the unre... Reduce service. Yeah, I'll pay to trash that. Yeah, I'll pay to trash that. Yes! Okay.
Oh.
And now... I'm going to do it again.
You accessed 2 cards, Dave.
I accessed your card that was unresed, your defensive card that was unresed that you couldn't afford to res.
Got it.
And then trashed it, and then I accessed a card in your hand.
No, that's really irritating. I forgot about that. I would have resed it otherwise.
I don't think you could afford to... Oh no,
It's
you
a
could
0.
have. It's a 0 cost, yeah.
But oh well, that happens.
But you have to put credits on it.
Yeah.
No, I understand. But I had 1 credit. And that would have equated to 2, so that would have still done enough.
And here we go again. Yeah!
Worth it though. It was really worth it.
Yep.
That was really good.
I was pretty happy with that. Yeah. Let's put
Pantograph. Do it. What are you going to install, Dave?
this over here. And then
swap the positions of ice wall
end
and
the
something
turn.
protecting R&D.
Okay.
Wait, I don't... Dave, what did you swap?
I swapped something that's now on server 1 with the ice wall,
right.
which is now protecting your R&D.
Got it.
Which means unless you score another SDS drone deployment and kill my 2-price Atman, I'm going to be running through R&D this turn.
Are you?
Not.
No, not
Potentially.
really.
2 R&D.
Atman can only break stuff that it's the same strength as.
That one's advanced to 2, and this one's advanced but is 2.
I've got a 1 and a 2 out, Dave.
I'm running... No, you've got it. Oh, that's a strength 1. Shit. Sorry, I thought that had an advancement counter on it. I misread the yellows.
I'm too cheap.
Yeah, no, you're right. I misread the yellows as advancement counters instead of the strength.
You
Didn't realise it had done the maths.
You should ignore that Mark had told you that you probably shouldn't run it. And you should run it anyway.
It probably won't let me, to be honest. Right, okay. 1, 2... Right, sod it. Let's see what's there. And let's pray it's on spec. Whatever this first one is, I'm hoping it's either too pricey to res or... Oh, so cheap.
Yeah, happens. Sorry.
That's alright. The barrier.
I wish it were one of the ones that gave me a bit of cash back.
So many barriers. Okay, cool. Cool.
What's this?
Right, your go. Cool.
Ooh. Pop that out. It's a tricky one, isn't it, Dave? You've got 6 credits. I've got 1. How many ice walls do I really have? Am I hiding an agenda in archives?
Well, let's have a look at what's on server 1. What is this? What have I accessed? I'll trash it. Let's run archives just in case you're hiding something goofy in there. Nothing. Cool. Okay, good. Right. The archives run was probably a bit naff, but I don't know. There's always a chance, right? Okay, 4 credits.
I mean, there is always a chance.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Very nice, Dave.
End the turn. Discard down. That one. That one. There we go. Your go.
There we go.
Oh, I can't believe my flipping Atman got dumped on by an STS drone. Is it my go then? Don't forget
I'm just
to
figuring out
click
what
me
I want to
through.
trash.
Ah, okay.
We've got quite an impressive stalemate here now.
Yeah.
Because Dave can't break ice walls. So he needs Sharon to score so he can do some toe salongering of the ice walls to open up a server. And until that point, we're basically just clicking for credits.
I mean, absolutely.
Right, you remember how week one of us won by decking the other? All I've got to do is get through Sharon's
What? The money makers out. He's got loads of them. Look at that.
Yeah,
you put them all onto his deck rather than a fractor.
Yeah.
Hedge
Very
fund,
true.
Government subsidy.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Does that mean you're installing something or server 1 this turn, or are we going to just wait another turn? Is that what's occurring here, Sharon? Am I waiting again?
Let's do that.
Uh,
Have a crack, Dave.
I mean, okay, sure, yeah. I mean, I'm obviously going to have a crack, aren't I? Right.
As you should.
Let's see what the real price here is. Okay, a Colossus. Cool. Oh, it's a Sentry. Okay. Yep. I don't have anything at 4. Cool. That's a tag, and you trash an installed program. Cool. Yep. Okay. And then next one. Cool. Oh God. Oh, no, please not 2 Colossi. That would suck. You gonna res the next one?
I am just thinking, Dave.
Okay. Hackett. Yep, sure. So there's a barrier on everything. GG.
Yeah.
Okay, yep, sure, cool. You go. To choose. There we go. And then, I guess I'll remove a tag because that's cheap. And then,
Oh, Mark's disconnected. What's
stack,
going
please.
on?
That's No, he hasn't. What? Oh, has he left
What?
the game itself out of sheer disappointment?
Disgust.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
Was he? Was he was rooting for you? I
I don't
feel that.
So,
I don't blame him.
so here, aren't I?
Yeah. See, that's what I thought. Right,
Are
echelon.
you?
Yeah, end turn.
Yeah, I can't believe what I'm seeing, but I am still.
It's your go, Sharon.
Right. Let's have another. What can I do? What can I do to really screw you up?
I mean, just carry on playing. Like at the moment, I can't get past any of this. So you're on free scoring, as you like it.
You could have broke the act. You did still have your Atman at 2. But...
It's at 2. Oh.
That's true. Yeah. But
why do that? Why bother?
yeah, why bother, right?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you get confused when you're playing.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna do this, please.
What shall I do? Yeah.
Draw that and go. There we go. I know what's coming.
Kind of like a baby one, though. What shall I do next? Do you want to play with you? Yeah, I think I do. Do that.
Sure.
But you do get a pantograph. Oh, echelon! Oh,
Yep. Just in case.
damn it!
Just
That's so
in
cocky.
casos, right?
So goddamn cocky.
Okay.
Look at you, getting through them all. Ooh. Choice. Mark's rejoined our game as spectator.
Pass license and continue.
Indeed.
And then break one subroutine. Oh, continue. Sorry, I forgot to press continue to encounter ice. Okay, next up.
Do I have to press continue to encounter ice?
You do, yeah.
I have done that.
Now I break these two and pass license and continue, and it's yours.
Well done. Well done.
Access the server.
No further actions. I have eaten 5 Milka chocolate choco wafers.
Right.
And I do not regret anything.
Let's draw and see if we can get beautiful. Right. Oh no.
Oh no, you've got too many MU
Trash that.
units.
There we go. Yep.
What did you trash?
I trashed my echelon. Although actually, I should have probably trashed a Parisia, but at this point, I did GAF about breaking your Colossus. So.
I mean, fair enough.
Oh God, you're about to get so much flipping cash. Right, start turn. Okay. Let's run R&D. Continue to encounter ice. Break subroutines. This one. Pass ice and continue. Continue to encounter ice. Break subroutines. This one and this one. Pass ice and continue. Access the Soiver.
No action.
No action. Yes. Oh yeah, of course. Toggle auto resolve. Always.
Of course.
Then I'm going to
R&D again.
how much did that cost me? Was that 4 credits? That was 4 credits, wasn't it? So let's make continue to encounter ice.
You started your turn. Oh yeah, 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then break one, break this one and this one. Pass ice and continue.
Continue to encounter ice.
Then
yep. Oh, do I do it again?
You need to continue.
Encounter ice.
Yep. Break this one and this one. Pass ice and continue. And now I should be one deeper.
Pass ice. No further.
Access server. No action. Damn. Okay. Right now.
Do it again, Dave.
No, I need to do this. There we go. And then it's you. Though actually... balls. Yep, fair enough.
This is the third game, Jess, yes. It's no more believable than the first two. It is just a spectacle to behold by any definition.
Mark?
I...
So, if
Sharon.
I further advanced my ice, is scoring an ice a click?
Scoring an agenda is not a click.
An agenda. Sorry, an agenda.
It's not a click, no.
It is well, it's actually ability all of its own. It's a scoring ability. And no, you don't. It's not a click.
Do that. Score that. Go on, you use your pantograph. Use it well, Dave.
Right, yep. Pantograph. Yes. Yes. This
what
one.
we've discovered so far, just for you to catch up, is that Dave forgot to put a fractor in his toe deck and has had 2 Atmans destroyed by SDS and Colossus.
Stop saying it out loud!
Only able to break 2 strength ice. Thankfully, Sharon is leaving 2 strength ice and R&D to allow Dave to run in.
She can't help it if she's got no ice in hand. She's donezo. Oh.
I mean, you say that, you could just advance Aket twice more and it'd become strength 5.
What?
But I've got to give Dave a chance, right?
I don't need your pity. Yeah?
So all that we can be sure is going to happen now is that you rip 5 points of agendas off this run, and
don't say that out loud.
I mean, this last click, so he's going to get like an extra card.
Oh wait, hang on. I forgot to break them.
Possibly another 3.
There we go. No action. Is that really 2 of those? No. No. Oh, come on! Come on, you bugger! Right, okay, sure. Sure.
You didn't steal any agenda points last turn, did you, Dave?
No. Why, were you hoping I would?
No. Let's pop that out.
Were you hoping I would because you've got 2 punitive counter-strikes coming up?
Oh, have I? 2?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, lovely, Dave.
Yeah, your next card draw, you don't want to do that. Don't bother with it. It's punitive counter-strike. I'm really hoping what you've done there is put another 2 strength... 2 strength in front of it. That's what I'm praying for, I'll be honest with you.
I'll tell
It's
you
going
what,
to be
I'll
a
do
nice
that.
wall and a counter on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Dave, you've got to get rid of something.
Yep. I'm good. Wait, can I just take those for use later on in the turn before I trash? I assume not. That's a shame.
Maybe not.
That's a damn pity. Right, here we go. Let's have a look at what you have there, please. Balls. Sure. Well, that's that. It's a sentry. It's strength 4. Nothing that can do it in.
I mean, if you hadn't rashly trashed your echelon earlier,
I know.
would have,
I know, Mark. I know. I'm well aware. Yep. Cool. Yep. Cool. I mean, plus side. I've only run out of Atmans, so that could be worse. Oh, bugger it.
This is what we call in the game now being locked out.
Yeah. For you, for
Unless
me,
you've got,
this is a
I
waiting
mean,
game.
maybe you've got some cards that can bring things back from your heap. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who am I
Yep.
to judge?
I think they're all in my heap, actually. So yeah, yeah. That's the thing. Start the
I
turn,
mean, you
right?
do have a lot of cards in your heap, yeah.
Let's draw. Let's draw. Are you a wizard, Harry? That's amazing.
Chip, we haven't covered Simul Chip yet, Jess.
Move tag.
And I'm absolutely glad we haven't covered that yet.
Play that. There we go.
What did you do?
Right.
Creative commission.
Right, Sharon. At this point, rather than do any clicks, you need to advance that server 1 3 times and score it to get this debacle over. Unless that appears to be some sort of horrifying. Yep. Cool. Right. So it's I've got to Hail Mary next turn, because that's going to be advanced and meet me to death. Because there's no way that's an agenda. Otherwise, that would have been advanced to scoring and win, right? Unless Sharon's dragging this out on purpose. So I'm in danger.
Dave, why
When
would
you
I
say
want to
you've
see
got
you
Hail
suffer for
Mary,
longer?
Dragging this out.
you will need something else beyond the card we can see.
I know, which is why I'm clicking for it, Mark.
Okay.
Because currently
Your chances at this point are similar to the guy from Dumb and Dumber getting back with his.
Hey, that could have happened. I believed.
I mean, I'm. What was this Hail Mary card? Because I feel like I haven't
Sharon,
seen
just
it.
meet
Was
me.
it your creative commission?
Meat damage me, or sack up and score. Come along now, Pond. This is getting ridiculous. Oh, that was a skunk void, right? oh, okay, sure. Right. Okay. What are you going to get rid of? That's a lot of cards in. That's a lot of cards in there.
It is. A lot of cards to get through.
Draw. What's that?
On Earth, did you get all of those cards?
I'm an absolute player, so there's that.
You've got 8 cards now.
Yep. Ready? That. Then I end the turn.
You use a VR-cation in the middle of your turn.
Yep. I did. It's because I'm not afraid, Sharon. I'm brave. I'm losing next turn. Oh, this turn. Yep, there it is. I had nothing. Oof.
That was bad.
Oof indeed.
But
yeah.
That was a good game.
Yeah.
Well,
Bad.
I have to step in on behalf of the viewers and say that was not.
We tried our best. Mark.
That was a ridiculous game and ridiculous things happening.
Yeah, okay, so I made a couple of poor choices. Trashing the Echelon instead of trashing a Parisia was a poor choice. But at the time...
That was a surprise.
At the time, I was like, well, in the future, I'm just going to shove an Aket across, and at that point, it's going to take a couple of goes before I need to worry about it. So I might want to use these creds for trashing. And I did.
Did you have any other cards that gave you more MU?
No. Who needs MU? Right. I trash. If I need to install more programs, I trash Parisias. All right, you just get rid of them.
You didn't.
No, because at the time I thought, I might use the Parisia more than I'll use the Echelon. Because I figured,
really?
Yeah, because I
But then
figured.
you don't know what
You,
type of card I've got coming up. What kind
yeah,
of ice I've got coming
but
up.
at that point, my thinking was I don't give a shit what you've got coming up because I have a chance to make a few good conduit runs, and I made a few good conduit runs, but they weren't very good.
Mm.
And that was my thinking was if I can sneak enough agenda points before you get another piece of ice that I can't handle there, then I'm in luck. Um, it was it was unfortunate that I charged face first into a bunch of trash it
I mean,
cards.
honestly, I think you were really unlucky
The drone was
to
scheiße.
not get my agendas.
Yeah. I mean, I said I smack talked Jinteki.net before the game, and I knew I shouldn't have. I knew it would punish me, and it did, and I'm okay with
I
that.
mean, just to be clear, in my last 9 cards, I had 4 agendas.
I'm okay with that.
Are you sure? Because that seems like pretty lucky for me.
Absolute. I'm fine.
Absolute lemons. Yeah.
I don't know what you've just said, Mark. Was it absolute lemons?
Total
It
lemoning.
was.
Yep. I am 100.
Interpret it as you will.
I am.
I'm gonna say it was the luck of the milker. I
I'm
was
the
hyped up
lemon
on
here.
chocolate, and it helped.
I'm the lemon. Yep.
You're not a lemon, Dave. I think you were unlucky, and I was very unlucky.
I,
I was very lucky with RNG.
I don't know. I also played that like a bag of old poo. So that didn't help. But c'est la vie.
Do you know what I want to see?
Onwards and upwards, as they say.
I'm really what are we learning about this week?
I think, based on what we've seen in that game today, and jetting call from the chat, we should have a look at shapers.
Yes.
So we
I
can
want
go
more
full
shaper
shaper
bullshit.
BS.
Yes, yes. Dave, are you up for that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can handle a little bit more shape of BS. Yeah.
Also, Mark, a bit of credit for Dave and I. We've significantly reduced our gameplay time.
Except for that last game where we took 38
Just
minutes.
shh,
Okay,
Dave.
sorry. No,
Dave, 38 minutes is still good for us. Honestly.
I mean, yeah, let's just move on.
And on that bombshell. Oh wow! Did I accidentally shrink the window? Yep, I did. There it is. There it is. Cool.
Right, let's get to the shaper cards in the Ashes cycle.
Okay, excellent. Don't look
Dave
too
wants to learn
hard
the
at that. Don't
background.
look too hard at that list, please, for
How
crying out
can I
loud.
afford this? Dave, you could not afford that. You need more money and you needed to click for your money.
I didn't
And you
need more
needed
money.
icebreakers.
I had so much money. I just didn't have an
Not in
icebreaker
your
for.
hand.
What? No, it was all down. Did you see it? All the clicks for cash. I was like a bad politician. Absolute.
There was no shortage of money in that deck.
Yeah.
It was just shortage of factors.
Of actual icebreakers. Yeah. I was ready for.
At the last faction, you want to be on page 4.
Oh. Okay. Let's head back. Here we go. The end of the criminals and the start of shapers. Here we go.
Okay then. So we'll start off with shaper events, and the first up is In the Groove. It costs 0 to play. It's a priority. Don't think we've seen many priorities yet.
No.
That means you may only play it on your first click.
Okay.
Not like Creative Commission and VRcation, which penalise you for playing them early.
Yeah.
You just simply can't with this. It can only be on click 1. And it says, whenever you install a card with a printed install cost of 1 or greater this turn, you may draw 1 card or gain 1 credit.
Ooh.
So in its simplest form, if you've got 3 things you want to install this turn, you could play in the groove, install those 3 things, and earn 3 credits by doing it, or earn 2 credits and draw a card, or whatever combination of things you are wanted for.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it does on the tin. What it does in reality is that it only gets played in combo decks who are going to play it before they do a ridiculous turn, in which case they're about to install 12 or 15 cards and get a billion credit as a result.
Sure.
So, look for it in edge cases. Probably doesn't fit in most decks.
Yeah, it's interesting because it kind of fights against the deck that is it a shaper? No, it's not a shaper deck that rewards you for doing different things. It's a corp deck, isn't it?
That's Mirror Morph.
Yeah, Mirror Morph.
Yeah, that's Mirror Morph. So yeah, I suppose it's the other idea, like install because you get more out of it that way. But yeah.
I mean,
But
it
as
seems a
Jess
bit.
points out, not all your installs have to be as a result of the click, especially if you're a shaper.
Oh.
And as we see some of the other cards here, you'll see how you get to those ridiculous turns where in the groove really delivers you some big value.
Yeah, that would be good, because otherwise, on face value, you spend a click to possibly get 1 card or gain a credit, whereas you could just spend a click to draw a card or gain a credit.
If you're only installing one thing.
Yeah. You would.
Oh,
Even
whenever.
if you weren't doing. Yeah, if you weren't doing shaper shenanigans, at the very least, you would do it when you're installing 3 things.
Yeah.
That's really good. Got it.
Cool. Okay.
So, we have the hardest card to pronounce in the game.
Kuzyuk. Kuzyuk. What's the accepted pronunciation on Kuzyuk?
I believe it's
Kuzyuk.
Kuzyuk.
It's. I believe the first K is silent. I believe it's Kushuk.
Nice.
Right. Is it named after something?
It is named after a real thing that I cannot remember right now.
Sure. So, what does Kushuk do? Oh,
Kushuk is a Indonesian word which means to be devout or committed.
Cool.
Okay. But
and does Google Translate have the pronunciation for that?
It will do, probably.
It will at a time that you can look at in your own time. Let's read what it says, because it says a lot of things. A wall of text. For 3 credits, you will make a run on R&D. If successful, instead of accessing cards, you choose a number greater than 0. For each installed card you have with a printed install cost matching that number. Oh, sorry,
right.
screen.
Sure.
With a printed install cost matching that number, reveal 1 card from the top of R&D up to a maximum of 6. Then choose which one of the revealed cards you want to access. You cannot access any other cards on this run.
Okay, so anything that adds to it does nothing, but you can get up to 6 cards access if you've spread.
It's not a 6-card access. It's an access to 1 of 6 cards.
Yep.
That's a key difference. So, yes, it gives you a better chance of seeing an agenda.
Yeah.
But if you see multiple agendas, you can only see one of them. It is not a multi-access card. It is a multi-reveal card.
It's yeah, but that's kind of
Let,
cool because you don't access all of them. And as Jess says, that includes not accessing snare, so you don't run face first into a snare. But you also still get to pick the one that's most beneficial for you to access there, or the one that you
Clearly,
see
yeah.
coming that you're scared the most of if you don't get anything
Now,
you
the
want.
first bit, before we get to the accessing bit, you've got to work out how many um, cards you're going to reveal. Now, that is based on, as it says, the number of cards you have installed at a certain cost. So, if you're going to put Hushhook in a deck, you need to have enough things to be installed on your board to make it worthwhile.
Right.
So if you've got um, uh, uh, one program that costs three, one program that costs two, and a console that costs four, a resource installed that costs six, Hushshot won't do anything because it can't find multiple things with the same install cost. So you've got to make sure, usually either for one cost or two cost items, that you've got enough of them in your deck that you will be able to get them installed, keep them on the board, of course. No use relying on a daily cast that's going to disappear, and then play Hushhook on the back of it.
What do you get to choose the timing on this? Because Pantograph says if successful, it triggers.
Antigraph's only when an agenda is stolen, right?
That's when.
So
Of course, yeah. Yeah, sure. Is there anything that would allow you to install a card midway through your run or at the end of your run, increasing the number that you could pick here?
yes, some of the cards that we'll come on to shortly,
Cool.
where
Cool.
you can install things without clicks.
Ah,
You only need to declare which number you are using once the run is successful.
gotcha.
So if you happen to trash things on the way in, you may no longer count them. But if you manage to install things on the way in, you may then count them. But it's absolutely imperative that if you're going to put Hushhook in your deck at the deck building phase, you make sure you've got enough things in your deck and in your game plan that are going to be on the board when you're playing this.
Yep.
You shouldn't just put it in wildly and hope for the best. You
Yeah.
should have got at least six things, preferably more than six things,
Yep.
that you're going to install before you play it.
You build your deck around it, or you find that your deck fits it, and so you chuck it in because you're like, oh, we're in luck. Sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
Normally the former, but the latter has happened as well. That's for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Next up, spec work.
Okay, spec work. A lot simpler to understand. It's a one cost event,
Mhm.
and it says as an additional cost to play this event, you have to trash a program.
Cool.
But if you do, you gain four and draw two cards. So, assuming you're not playing it whether via prepaid voice pad or something, you're actually paying the one credit. You're gaining three and drawing two cards, which is um, using your basic action card, 5 clicks worth of value in one. However, you've got to be able to trash a program to make it worthwhile.
Yep.
So if you installed a Parisia for zero and then you gave it up for a spec work, that would be a little clunky, but it would work.
Uh,
Better if you've got a program that doesn't do anything anymore. For example, an imp that you've used all the counters off, and then you're going to sacrifice it anyway. then it's a very good complement to go with it.
It goes quite nicely with the previous card as well. Let's say your Kusyuk, you've put a few things in that you're not especially enamoured with, but they do a little niche job, and you're happy with them, and they've been mostly helping you to Kusyuk. You've Husyuked twice, right? And now you can spec work all the car that's down on the board to turn it into a bit more momentum, right?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, ideally, don't put nonsense in your
Car in.
deck in the first
Sure,
place.
yeah. Sure, yeah.
Instead,
Yeah, very
but,
sensible, but I mean, we're sim my decks for this week, so yeah, that's never guaranteed.
no. Uh, yeah,
Cool.
it doesn't see much play because
Trash and install
historically,
programs pricey.
Imp hasn't been a card that sees much play in Shaper, but at the moment, Imp is seeing play in every deck, or in a lot of them certainly. So maybe there is an opportunity for spec work there.
Cool.
Okay then. Now we move on to Harmony AR Therapy.
So calming, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Indeed.
It's banging as well.
It is an event. It costs you 2 credits. And it says, search your heap, not your stack, your heap, so cards you've thrown away or used or had trash, for up to 5 cards, which all have to have different names. So you can't get multiple copies of the same card back. It has to be 5 different cards. And then you get to shuffle those cards back into your stack.
Sure.
So it is bringing programs back from the dead. It is bringing the game-winning, high-value events back for a second play of them. It is bringing resources back to give you more money. It is recycling a lot of anything you want, basically. Now, on the surface, it seems great. All those cards that I want to play, I'm going to get to play them again. But what you've got to bear in mind is that you only need to win once.
Sure.
So you don't want to make this great plan where you'll be able to keep recycling cards forever, because if the game's going that long and you've not won already, then the court's probably going to win.
Yeah. Although it does seem like it would go well in who's the Anarch who swifts through decks, who goes through all of their cards super fast. Is it an Anarch? Draws.
Lou goes through pretty fast, but
yeah. Max.
Oh, Max, you mean? Max,
yes.
Yeah. But sure, it is a deck it is a card that has seen some play in Max.
I feel
its
like
predecessor, which was called Levy Lab Access, which allowed you to shuffle back all of your heap rather than just 5 cards from it, was a staple in Max.
Yeah.
Until that card was taken away for being too ridiculous.
Sure. Cool.
Because we don't want games to go on forever. We want people to try and win.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, moving on into the hardware section. First up, we have a console that you're probably never going to play, but it's here, so let's talk about it. It's Super Corridor. It costs 4 credit and gives you 2 MU. So that's quite nice.
Yep.
What it also does is give you +1 maximum hand size, which is unusual. Runners don't usually have additional hand size.
Yeah.
So it allows you to keep 6 cards in your hand at any one time. But then it has a very weird ability tacked on the end. And it says, when your turn ends, if you and the corp have the same number of credit, you may gain 2 credit. So, great. Gaining 2 credit would be fantastic, but sculpting your turn to end on a certain number of credit is very difficult.
Yeah.
And sculpting it to be on the same number as the corp is even more difficult because if they're poor,
Yep.
you don't want to be on the same number as them.
Yep.
And if they're rich, well, you're in trouble anyway.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it very rarely fires.
Sure.
If you're playing this card, it's probably because you want the 2 MU for 4 credit
Yeah.
within a single card. But because it's in the console slot, and there are so many other better consoles like Pantograph, like the one we're going to see in a second.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think you can play it.
Somewhat pointless. Yeah. Cool. So let's ignore that then and go on to the next one.
Now, the card that everyone's been talking about for weeks.
The card that I wanted to add to my deck for weeks.
The card you have added to your deck several times until I say that's not a very good card for you. It's Simulchip. It's a 1-cost hardware.
Oh,
And
get
it
your
says,
ring back.
Let's talk about what it does first of all. So
Sure.
we'll skip the first section. We'll go on to the bin ability.
Yeah.
If you trash this card, you may install 1 program from your heap, paying 3 less for it.
Yep.
So, if Femme Fatale was in your heap, you could install it for 6 rather than 9.
Yep.
But more so, if your imp is in the heap, maybe because you sold it to a ASOPs or to a spec work, you can then use Simulchip to bring it back with more tokens on it. Or if you've had an Atman that has been trashed by an SDS being scored, you can bring that card back because you might need it. However, the first part of it puts a little bit more of a constraint on it. So it says if no installed programs have been trashed this turn, you must trash 1 installed program as an additional cost to use this hardware.
Okay.
Now, this means 2 things. So it means, first of all, that you've got to sacrifice a program in order to bring 1 program back. So
Cool.
If that Femme Fatale is in your heap, you'd have to give up your Parisia, which is no big deal.
Yep.
But if you've only got programs installed that you want to keep, then you have to sacrifice one that you want to keep in order to bring this back. So
Sure.
It is not just free and easy recursion, bring back whatever you want.
Yep.
However, what that initial clause also means is that you can use this chip to trash programs if it's in your interest to trash programs. So if you had, for example, an imp still on the board and you want to recur it, but you haven't had chance to trash it or overwrite it yet, you can say, in order to use my Simulchip, I have to trash a program. I will trash this imp, and then I will use a Simulchip ability to bring this imp back.
With the counters.
With the counters.
How much does imp cost, out of interest?
2 credits usually.
2, so you're getting it back for free? For 1 cost.
The rule edge case that you've got to be aware of this is if you have no programs in your heap, you can't use Simulchip.
Because it's got no target. It has no target, which means it fizzles? Or
Correct.
It becomes illegal? Because there's no such thing as fizzling when you get the choice, right? I mean, it's an illegal target.
Correct.
Yeah.
That firing it would not change the game state at that point,
Yep.
Therefore, you need to, you can't fire it. Now, the program in your heap doesn't have to be the one you bring in back, as I've just said. You can trash an imp off the board and bring that imp straight back, but you must have another program in your heap before that to allow that to happen.
Gotcha.
So you would be initially targeting whatever old program was in the heap, but once you've actually got to the trash phase, you can then bring back the other card that you've freshly trashed instead. Now that sounds a little bit complicated, but that's quite intuitive when you're playing.
Sure.
Make sure you've got a program in the heap, because it'd be valid for your opponent to say, well, what are you firing it on?
Yep. Yep. Okay, cool. I bet that gets mistriggered every now and again in cardboard play.
Where
Yes.
people forget.
Yeah. And that's where I say you've got to say, well, what are you targeting it at now?
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, let's move on to another strong card. Probably not as strong as Simulchip, but a good console nonetheless. And this is Anikam. It's a 3-cost console, gives you 1 extra MU, but more importantly, the first time each turn an event is trashed, you may draw a card.
Cool.
So you play a Sure Gamble, and it draws you a card. You play a Push Up to make a run on R&D, it draws you a card.
Yeah.
The first time each turn you play an event, as well as the effect of that event, you also get a free card draw.
Wow.
So in terms of making things go faster,
yeah,
it's a very solid card. And as Jess has mentioned there in the chat, often played in criminal decks, because criminal decks are always lacking for draw,
sure,
but have so many good events that they want to play their events and use their events that are earning them money to draw them cards as well.
An event, not an event on your side, not a runner event. It could be a corp event, right?
Corps don't have events. Corps have operations.
Ah, okay. Ah, of course. Cool.
What it does do on the corp side is that if the corp does damage to you on their turn that happens to trash an event,
right?
Then that draws you a card as
well. Right. How does the timing work on that? If the corp was trashing you to death and you had events in hand, do you trash, draw, because you now have triggers on the stack and you have to resolve all of that block of damage as one trigger, and so you're dead? Or is it one thing gets trashed, now you draw, one thing gets trashed, now you draw, one thing gets trashed, now you draw?
The former.
Gotcha.
So the damage happens in one go.
In one
block. If you are going to die, you die.
Yep.
But if you don't die, then the draw happens.
But did you die?
Now that can get you after some very sticky situations if, for example, they're trying to punitive you to death, but they need to punitive you twice.
Yep.
And the first punitive they land hits an event out of your hand, which draws you an extra card, which now means that the second punitive is not going to be lethal.
Yep. Also, House of Knives, that sort of right. You're taking one from this source, one from another source, 3 from a third source. You're actually taking them in 3 different blocks, and you get to draw at the end of each one, right? So because they're separate triggers. Ah, okay. Oh yeah, the first time each turn.
It's not whenever, it's the first time. But yes, it can still save you bacon in that situation.
Yeah.
So if you've hit a House of Knives on the way in that you thought that was going to put them down into 2 cards, it hits an event, you can draw a card, and now you can survive a snare.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. Can
It's
save you.
multi-purposed.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Cool. Next up, the ID.
Next up is the Shaper ID in Ashes, who is Lat, the ethical freelancer.
What is this?
They
My
have,
kind of guy.
they have. That's just telling you that they start off with 4MU,
Sure.
as all currently legal winners do.
Sure.
They're
Okay.
on one link.
One link.
So
Yeah. Sorry, that was.
before we came on the stream, you were talking about Link and
Yeah. They've
how
got.
Tracy's worked and stuff.
Yeah.
Link, Lat is a runner with a link, which can sometimes be relevant. But much more relevant is their ID ability, which says
Sure.
when your turn ends, if you have the same number of cards in your grip as the corp, as in their HQ, you may draw an extra card.
So they're kind of like running the same concept as Superconductor. I assume that's their bit of hardware, their console, except it's with card draw as well now. So
Yeah.
you can do
So,
both.
as part of that wider colour pie thing of shapers having to be careful in planning their turns,
Yeah.
if you plan their turn such that you end up on the same number of cards, you get free card draw out of it. And that allows you to go over your maximum hand size because your maximum hand, you've discarded to your maximum hand size before you do the check with the corp. And so if you've both say got five in hand at that point, you're able to draw a sixth card, whether you've got Super Corridor installed or not.
Mm. Cool. Cool. And that when your turn ends is like after discard.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh wait. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So in a very similar line of Anicam and of Super Corridor, it's about drawing your card more quickly, which historically has been an issue for both criminals and shapers, but it's these cards lessen that a lot more in shaper.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
Let's move on to something ridiculous.
Oh, what?
It's Rizeki, the green orb.
Sure.
It says it's a program. It costs 2 credits.
Yeah.
It says when your turn begins, gain a credit.
Okay.
It's infinite money.
Sure.
It just keeps ticking away and giving you more money.
Right.
And ticking away and giving you more money.
It just takes an MU and that's it. You're good.
Yep.
Cool. That's a nice space filler to sit there and tick up your cash on the passive. Cool.
It is entirely undervalued.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that I think in the design phase it was thought, well, clogging up MU is going to be a problem. People won't want to do that. Everybody clogs up MU with it.
Yeah.
Rizeki is played everywhere. It's played in criminals, it's played in shapers, it's occasionally played in anarps, because infinite money is pretty good.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Clickless cash.
The only
cool.
thing against it is that it's not much use to you on the bottom of your deck or near the bottom of your deck. You need to find it early for it to be paying out to you in sufficient volumes. In fact, I did the maths on this the other day, in that a daily casts will net you 5 credits in 4 turns. A Rizeki won't earn you 5 credits until 7 turns later.
Yep.
So, as in terms of a comparison of smash it down and it's going to start paying off, you really need to get it down
early.
You really
It's
need
an
to get
early
it down
one,
early, so that you can. Otherwise, it won't be probably worth anything by the end of the game.
Would you pay to hunt for it if it was turn 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you've got, there are decks in standard with an ID called Cabinessa Wu, who not was that she was designed with this in mind, but what she'd actually turned into is someone who gets out 3 Rizekis on turn 1.
Sure. Okay.
What, you mean instead of 3 Parisias?
Yes, indeed. It is an alternative strategy, but
That's cash money, the Parisias. Cash money. And they cost nothing, and they don't take up MU. I'm telling you, superior.
Parisias do take up MU, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they take up 1 MU,
Okay.
you're right. Yeah. Dang it. I was thinking of that. I think there's an Anarch card that does something remarkably similar that costs you 2 credits, but gives you 2 credits to spend on trash costs for other things.
Anarchs have Scrubber, which
Scrubber, that's it.
is a resource that doesn't take up MU,
Yeah.
and you can spend the credits on anything. And they also have Fencer Fueno, who can one of your companions who you can use on trashing stuff.
Trash anything. Yeah.
All the trashing cards in the game outside of Anarch come with some stipulations. So Parisia is that you can only use it on assets, not upgrades.
Yep.
And in Criminal, they have a card called Miss Bones, and Miss Bones can only be spent on cards that are already installed. If you access it in R&D or in the corpse hand, you can't use Miss Bones. So
Sure.
Anarchs are better geared towards trashing things. That's their colour pie.
Yeah. Cool.
Anyway, back to Shapers though.
Yeah.
Gauss.
Neuron Ghost, one of the maths breakers. Because apparently Ghost is something mathematical. Anyway, it costs 2 to install, and it starts at strength 1, apart from the turn that you install it.
Cool.
Because on the turn you install it, it gets +3 strength. So that turn that you install it, it's really hecking good, because a 4 strength fractor that then only costs 1 to break barriers is really useful. But after that, it then flips back to being only 1 strength, and 2 credits for 2 strength is not a good ratio, and
Sure.
it starts becoming quite expensive to use. So, but what you can do, for example, is slam your ghost down and use it while it's at 4 strength, leave it on the board for a little while, and then the next time you anticipate you want to use it, maybe you could Samo chip it and bring it back, and then it's 4 strength again.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Recur it, and then it becomes strong once again. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. Next up, Palangi.
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 Yeah.
Palangi. What's the name?
I don't know. I think both are acceptable.
Phalanges.
Phalanges? Fingers? Anything?
No, I don't think it's fingers. Someone will tell us in the chat, I'm sure. And it's a bonkers card. It's when you install this program, place 2 virus counters on it. And then, when you encounter a piece of ice, you may spend a virus counter from Palangi, which gives that ice an additional subtype. Use the ability only once per turn. So maybe you forget to put a fracture in your deck.
Sure.
And you're running, making a run, and they res a barrier against you.
Yep.
You could spend a Palangi counter to turn that into a code gate or a sentry and break it with one of the icebreakers you brought with you.
Yep. Let's say you'd assumed that an Atman was going to get through, and they brought a bunch of evolving ice. This kind of gets you out of that sticky situation, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
How is this better than an Egret? Is it? Because it's one and done, isn't it? And it's vulnerable to virus clears, right?
All true, It's just the flexibility that makes
Gotcha.
it more popular than an egret. You don't have to, because the worst thing you do on an egret is you make a blind install on something, and then it turns out that it's been a wasted install.
Sure.
Whereas because you don't use it until you want to use it, you install this. You run on that card with impunity
It's
because you know
reactive.
you've got
Yeah.
be able to break it. And
Yeah.
then if it turns out that you've already got the right program out to deal with it, then you just save the token till next time.
Sure.
Oh, well, that's handy.
Okay, that's pretty sensible.
Yeah, I
And
like
then,
it.
of course, once your viruses run out, you might want to get rid of it to a spec work, or you might want to bring it back with a simul chip.
Gotcha.
Simul chip. Bloody winning. Anyway, sorry.
Cool.
Now we're on to the other maths breaker. It's Euler. Or Euler or something. I don't know.
Euler.
Euler.
Oi.
Euler.
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 That's it.
Euler.
Apparently, yeah. Euler. Yeah.
It's a decoder. It costs 2 to install, takes up 1 MU, and it's similar to Ghost in that the first time you install it, it gets an ability. But
Yep.
this one doesn't get a strength boost, it gets a cost to break boost. Because on the turn you install Euler, code gates are free to break once you've maxed strength.
Okay, cool.
So a code gate can have, I think, up to 4 subroutines under normal conditions. But once you've maxed the strength, it may as well have none because you're going straight past it.
Sure. Cool.
Other than that, its numbers are not terrible anyway. You've got to play 1 for strength, but you've got to pay 2 to break 2 subroutines. So that can be a bit expensive. I mean, it's efficient if you're breaking a subgate with a code gate with 2 subroutines. It's inefficient if you're breaking a code gate with 3 subroutines, and you've got to pay 4 credits to do it.
It's quite a specific bit of luck, I suppose we've put up with that before, though, haven't we? With there have been a couple. Yeah.
Then that would be pretty amazing.
It can get into some real shenanigans.
Yeah.
Because you can get into a situation, and with Palangi too, of course, where you are turning the first Aishu encounter with Kit's ability, the second Aishu encounter with Palangi's ability. You're using Euler to break them all at a cost of 0 credits, and if you can boost that strength up through other means, then every time you install it, it can be very, very cheap to make runs with. Yes.
Cool. All right.
We'll come on to some of those other means shortly.
Yeah, might be seeing that in my next deck.
Okay, now we are into 2 stealth cards, and I'm not sure how much we've talked about stealth in the past. I think we looked at it with Tricked Attacker a couple of weeks ago, and we said that it provides you with a certain type of credits that usually get used in very strong ways. Well, first up we have Mantle, and Mantle is another source of stealth credits. So it costs you 1 to install, and it gets 1 recurring credit on it. And you can use the credit off Mantle to either use hardware or to use programs. So just in its simplest form, it's quite useful. You install it for a cost of 1, and every turn then going forward, you have a free credit to use on hardware and programs. But the fact that it's a stealth credit, which then supports stealthy shenanigans, makes it even stronger.
Sure.
Stealthy shenanigans like using Penrose.
Oh, let's see what Penrose is.
Another maths card.
Penrose is a decoder, asterisk, also a fractor.
Whoa!
Oh, nice.
It's a
Whoa!
3-cost program. Its main job in life is to be a
Oh,
decoder, but on the turn it gets installed, becomes a barrier as well, a
sure,
fractor as well.
sure.
And of course, if you want to symbol chip it, it regains that ability again, as of course.
Sorry, 1 second. So what was Euler's? Euler was break a code gate. Okay, so that was just attack, but this is when you install it. This is when you install it, and Gauss is also when you install it. Okay, cool. So
Yeah,
all of the
that's
maths
what they're
themed ones have a when you install. That's cool.
correct.
Cool, cool,
I
cool.
think so. It's a good combo.
So you can break a code gate subroutine for 1 credit, pretty
Yep.
standard. You can, when it's a fractor, you can break a barrier subroutine for 1 credit too. The bit where the stealth credits come into it.
Sure.
1 stealth credit pumps the strength by 3.
Oh,
So where
right.
we've seen normally 1 credit gets it 1 stronger, or
Yeah.
sometimes 2 credits gets it 1 stronger, because stealth credits are special, one of those makes this 3 stronger.
Yeah, that's bonkers strong. Cool.
However, you may only use stealth credits to pump its strength. If you don't have a source of stealth credits, then it is limited to being strength 2.
Yep.
You don't need to use stealth credits to use the break ability though. So if you just wanted a 2 strength code gate, a 2 strength decoder, you could use it without any stealth credits. But that would be weird. Don't do
Ha!
that.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Or maybe you were desperate for that fractor for a turn. In which case,
Absolutely, yeah.
you're paying the price, but yeah. Cool. And that's a Penrose triangle in the middle there.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's pretty
Beautiful.
banging. Yeah.
I mean, that's a design concept that looks pretty familiar, doesn't
Familiar,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
If we were Team Triangle, that would be
Now, onto a card that I'm very intrigued by.
interesting. It's a card I'm also intrigued by because I have no idea what it does. Let's read
Cordyceps, it
together.
sort of mimics the Tau Salonga ability, doesn't it?
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
So it's a 3-cost program. It's a virus. When you install this program, place 2 virus counters on it. Then, whenever you make a successful run on a central server, you may spend a virus counter to swap a piece of ice, protecting the server you've just run on, with another installed piece of ice. Use this ability only once per turn.
Gotcha. But there's no such restriction on the this server thing. You're not moving them front to back. You can move them off of the server.
Correct.
Or
So,
swap them.
But you can't just discard them. You have to swap them with
yeah,
something,
it's
right?
it's not a trashing ability because trashing ice is an anarch thing.
Mm-hmm.
Shaper's thing is moving ice. So, the limitation is that one of the pieces of ice you choose has to be on the server you've run on.
Yep.
So you can't make a run on an undefended archives and then swap 2 pieces of ice elsewhere. That would probably be too good. But what this does let you do is if they've put a good piece of ice on HQ, say, for example, a Winchester or an Afshar that is particularly strong when it's on HQ, you could make a run on HQ and then swap that ice away from there to make it not as good.
But
Or
Mark, couldn't you just run, say, if Archives had a really weak piece of ice, couldn't you run Archives and swap that piece of ice with the very strong piece of ice on HQ?
that would equally be valid if they have put a weak piece of ice on archives, and indeed catching someone doing that and punishing them with this is a very good idea. And it also ties into a, a kit type game plan where you maybe want to line up all their code gates on one particular server so that you can run past them for very free.
Yeah.
Very free for
For
very cheap.
very free.
So as you described at the top, it's a Tosa longer likability that's available to to anyone if they're going to pay the 4 influence, but primarily to shapers.
Cool. Seems pretty strong. And also, it doesn't say that the piece of ice has to be rezzed either. So if you've passed by a piece of ice and the corp has been reluctant to res it, you can now choose where that expensive res cost goes, stick it on something else, and run that for potentially free as well. Run straight past that.
Yeah.
It's pretty
If
cool.
you know what it is, it can be a great advantage for sure.
Yeah.
If you don't, there's always the risk that you end up swapping it for something that turns out to be just as difficult.
Yeah.
But you can, by all means, roll the dice, take the chance.
Give it a bash. Cool.
4 cards left in the shaper.
Hey! Wait a minute. I recognise this card.
Do you?
Huh.
I don't know why, Dave.
Here's another card that everyone's been baying for, or just putting in the deck regardless. It's
It was
self-modifying
an
code.
accident.
It's the quintessential runner card, shaper card, because who needs to bother matching programs to the type of ice that you need to break when you can run with impunity with a self-modifying code, look what ice it is, and then get out the program you need to break it.
Wait for it. Let me just have a little look through.
The
Seems like a
downside
very
of that,
sensible
of
card.
course, is that to fire it, you have to trash it and pay 2 credits. So that's not an inconsiderable amount of money. And whilst it's installed, it's taking up 2 MU. So you've got to balance that amongst everything else you're doing.
Or use it quickly.
I'll use it quickly. But the shenaniganery you can get on with this and Simochip combined is
Oh, good lord.
the prime case of shaper bullshit. So let's say you have plenty of credits, but no breakers installed, and the corp is sitting smugly on with a code gate and a barrier on the remote, thinking they're not going to have enough clicks to install 2 different programs and then make a run on this remote. No, but you might have enough time to install a self-modifying code, approach the first piece of ice, get out the program you need to break that, then Simochip back your self-modifying code for when you're encountering the second piece of ice, so that you can then bring out the other program you need to break that one, and then walk on into the server.
Yeah,
And
that's bullshit.
And if you're concerned about finding then your last breaker, hell, why not Simochip self-modifying code back again? Why you still use a program must be trashed ability? And I know. Why would you pay for that using real credits? Why don't you go on an overclock run so you've got 5 credits to spend towards it for free?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Is it brilliant?
Maybe.
Now you know why Shaper is regarded in the light that it is.
It feels like that sort of assists with an indefensible position for the corp. But that's pretty grim.
I'm quite intrigued by the next card.
Ah.
Not seen this before, and it seems pretty damn good.
Unfortunately, this card doesn't see much play because it's a little bit expensive. So you remember when we looked at the Nihilist within the Anarch set?
Yeah.
And I said that was the throwback to the old favourite Anarch ID. Well, this is the throwback to the old favourite Shaper ID. So the lady you see painting there, and I believe possibly also on playmats that you may have, is Kate McCaffrey, the artist. And Kate McCaffrey was the original colour set Shaper ID. And she said, the first time each turn you install a program or a piece of hardware, pay one less. So she allows you to install a lot of stuff, which Shapers like doing, for a lot more cheaply. And they've captured that ability here too. So she has 2 click abilities. Number 1, you can click for 2 credits, which is the ability that one of her programs, Magnum Opus, used to have. Or you can install a program or a piece of hardware paying 1 less, which is the ability she used to have. So it is a nice little bit of reminiscing for cards that are no longer with us. Unfortunately, she costs 4 to install.
Gotcha.
Now, while you can get that back pretty quickly by using the Gain 2 ability and the other ability, that is still a pretty hefty tempo loss having to install that full cost up front. And then you've got the secondary issue of how many of these do you want to put in your deck? They're unique. You can only install 1 of them, but you need to find it early in the game to get value from it. So you want to put multiple copies in? Do you want to put 3 copies of a unique resource in your deck? Probably not. And even if you do find it early, can you take the tempo hit of getting up to 4 credits to install this? There are lots of ifs and buts that just hold it back from being a highly played card. I've put it in a number of decks because I was a sucker for playing Kate in the old days, and
sure.
I'm a sucker for this ability. I like doing the let's install a million things, and she supports you doing that, but she's just a bit too slow and a bit too expensive to make that a really viable option.
I feel like maybe if she was 3 credits, that would be a big difference.
There's sort of a balancing issue there then.
Yeah.
Now, Paulie's Cafe?
Paulie's Cafe, yes.
Also, Jess has said she's got an artist playmat. And I have a feeling we've seen one of your playmats with artist on it as well, Mark. Is that right? And Dave's gone away. Did you sell it to Sarah?
You say sell it.
You donated it to Sarah, assuming you would get Oh! Wait, did you give it to Mark? Dave, what am I going on about? Did you give it to Dave? He's got it there. It's right there.
Wait, Sharon, you're saying this as if you don't have a playmat.
Look, I'm not in control of the things that are owned in this flat, okay? Let's just be clear about that.
Sharon, does Sarah now possess 2 artist playmats? Is that what's going on?
I don't know.
I've given you all 1 each of those. So
it's very cool.
In theory, you should all have an artist playmat. If Sarah's stolen yours as well as hers, that's an issue for your household.
That's rude.
That's not one that I can get into.
That's the first ever playmat I've ever owned. Considering I've played pasteboards for, decades. That's cool. I've never had a playmat before that one, so it's seen some use already.
So much time to your fingertips. Anyway, let's move on. While Sharon mourns the loss of her playmat. This is Paulie's Cafe. This is another unique resource. So another question of how many of these you want to put in your deck. But Sharon.
Oh, gone. She's probably off to find the playmat. Which might involve a knife fight. Who knows? There it is.
Well, this is only one. Oh yeah, look, we've got an artist player man.
Who'd have thought? I mean, of course, I obviously knew that we had this and use it all the time.
I use
For all
mine.
the Netrunner you've been playing at home, I can tell.
I
It's
use
never
mine.
off your kitchen table.
This was actually Sarah was using it right now. So she had to adjust various things to release it. So I could show it right here.
I like to set out my sets so that I can see everything. It's a bit harder now because I don't own Ashes, but setting out my cards so that I can look at everything all at once and then actually use cards to manufacture the deck. It feels nice doing it that way, which is probably why I've had so many problems building decks correctly in the past. But, yeah.
Indeed. Oof! This is the last one.
No, Paulie's
Last
calf.
paper
We haven't
card.
even covered the calf yet.
Oh, haven't we? Okay.
No.
No.
So let's look at the calf, because the calf's complicated. So we've seen self-modifying code, which allows you to install things without clicks, and we've seen a symbol chip to allow you to install things without clicks, but they are finite resources. Once you've used them once, unless you can recur them, they have limits to how much stuff you can do with them. Poly's Cafe does not.
Oh.
Poly's Cafe gets installed for 1 credit, and then it says, for a click, you may host a program or a piece of hardware from your grip on this resource. And then, during any paid ability window, you may pay 1 credit to install a card from Paulie's Cafe.
That's what you meant. Sure.
Oh, what are the benefits of this card? Because I can't see any.
Okay, so from what I can see, it's this ability here, right? If Paulie's Cafe is the only unique connection that you've... Oh no, it's a location. So you'd have to have a unique connection out, right? But it gives you kind of this here. However, it doesn't take a click to install that hosted card, which means that, let's say, turn 1, you chuck one of these down, and then you're like, you know what, bugger it, I'm putting 2 more under there. I've got nothing else to do with my clicks this turn. So you chuck a couple more under. You can host more than 1 card under here, right, Mark?
But it does cost a click. It does cost a click because you've had to pay a click to host the card.
Yeah,
True.
But you offset when that is. So you're paying those clicks ahead of time, right? Which means that during the turn that you want to install them, you install them clicklessly, right, Mark?
Exactly that. So let's go back to our example of you're making a run on a server that you don't know what that piece of ice is.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not talking about self-modifying code now. We're not talking about Palangi.
Oh, okay.
But let's assume that on your Paulie's Cafe, you have your Fractor, your Decoder, and your Killer.
Sure.
You can't afford to install them all yet because that might cost 8-10 credits. But you can make a run on that remote server. You can wait for them to res the ice, and then you can say, well, what I need is my decoder I need. I have to pay 1 to install it, but if I have a unique connection installed, maybe something like the artist, then I get that credit back because it's now 1 less to install it, and I've only installed the card as I need it, not installing them all up front in case I need them.
Yep.
And
It's
especially
Swiss Army knifing.
If you think about things like egret as well, rather than blindly guessing what you're going to need an egret on, you could keep an egret on Paulie's Cafe, and then if you needed an egret at some point, you bring it into play. But if you don't, it stays there not costing you anything.
Yeah. Bonkers.
Okay, nice.
If you installed, if you hosted a Botulus on there, and you can wait to see which of the pieces of ice are better suited to being botulized, you can do that at a later date.
Or if you hosted admin.
If you hosted an admin, you can wait to see what you can do with it. And the other key one that Jess has just mentioned in chat is that if you're playing Clot, you can get Clot. It can't be purged from off Paulie's Cafe because it's not installed. It's hosted. So you can have a Clot there lurking, waiting for the corp to do some shenanigans to try and fast advance their agenda, and then you say, "Oh no, I'm going to install my Clot."
So you can still install those cards even when it's not your turn.
In any paid ability window.
Hmm.
Because it isn't a click, it's only a credit.
Because you paid your click another time. This card seems to be bonkers.
That's pretty damn good. That's
Yep.
really good.
It's some
Put
cool
a Rizeki
shenanigans.
on its early doors, and then install the Rizeki on the corp's turn, so that you save the credit on its install cost, and then it's in play at the start of your turn to give you 1 credit, rather than it taking 2 credits on your turn.
Jesus, that is shenanigans.
You can do a whole lot of stuff with this card. We have seen some strong decks using it, but not a lot yet. In the current lightning fast meta, it's a little bit slow. But if the meta ever slows down, it's really something to think about.
Nice.
So
Super
speaking
nice.
of unique connections.
Unique connections. Cyber Trooper Talent. It's a 2-cost resource. It's a virtual connection, because no one knows who the Cyber Trooper is, or even if it's a real person at all.
Cool.
But having it gets you a link. Not many cards get you a link. And if we keep the stream going a bit longer, and we look at a card that cares about how many links you have, the fact that this gives you an extra one that you can maybe then slot into a lat deck, and that put you on 2, is quite interesting. But the extra link it gives you is only a small part of it. What it also says is, whenever you install a non-AI icebreaker, so it doesn't work for Mayfly, doesn't work for Atman, that icebreaker gets +2 strength for the remainder of the turn. Now, your first instinct is like, well, I'm only going to install programs 3 times. All I'm going to get out of this is 3 little strength boosts.
Oh.
And then you remember that Shapers are a thing.
And
you remember those cards that we've just been talking about, like Gauss and like Euler, and the cards you want to be installing and trashing and bringing back on many occasions. And then you remember that Chameleon's a card that we looked at a few weeks back, and that's also
puts
a card that you
itself
want to
back.
keep installing all the time. And then you think, holy moly, all my cards are going to have super strength all the time. Once I've got a Cyber Trooper talent on the board.
Oh man, that's pretty cool.
Damn.
Wait, so this card up here, Paulie's Cafe, that says it was designed by a 2018 tournament winner, right? Did he also design all of the other cards in this set in order to power it, or was the design team like, you know what, let's help this make sense and like be hardcore, because this is nice.
You don't have free reign to do whatever you want as a tournament winner.
Okay.
You get to have an input. So maybe you'll talk about the type of card that you'd like to make, and the type of effects you'd like to see.
Gotcha.
And then they will, they could potentially make a card completely cold, but more often than not, they'll take an idea they're already working on and they'll match it to it, and then maybe tweak it a little bit to work it out. So Uggles, this is it's their champion card. That's a picture of them in the artwork.
Yep.
The guy with the glasses. And Pauli's Cafe is a name of a real cafe somewhere in Germany where he and his friends hang out. So
Cool.
it's a very cool reference.
Interestingly, one of the rarest cards in Magic was the 1996 tournament champion card. It was designed with to venerate the winner of the first ever Magic tournament. I think it was the first or the second ever, and they only printed 3 of them. And I think one of them ended up getting destroyed, and one of them was given to the tournament winner. So there's only 2 in existence of them. So to have your face on a card is a traditional, long-held tradition with regards to wizards.
Not just that though.
Pretty cool.
Managed to design a card here that isn't hideously broken. Because many of the tournament winner cards that have been printed have unfortunately had to be banned because
too strong.
Particularly in the FFG era, the tournament winner cards were only lightly play tested.
Sure.
And ridiculous effects ended up sneaking through that have later had to be reeled in.
Now,
this is not one of them. This is just a nice, fun card.
So we've got Cyber Trooper Talent left.
No, we've just done Cyber Trooper.
No, we've just done it.
No,
we've just done it. Sorry, I was on the wrong line. Quick question: do you want to quickly go through the 6 neutral runner cards?
I do.
Let's do this.
There's at least one of them you might think about playing.
I mean, there is at least one of them that I have accidentally already played.
Yes, indeed. The first one is not one. It's probably not that one though. The first one is Rejig, and
strong.
It's so neutral it may as well be a shaper card.
Sure.
It says it's 0 to play, and it says add an installed program or piece of hardware to your grip, i.e. pick it back up off your board. If you do, you can then reinstall. If you do, you may then install a program or piece of hardware from your grip, paying X credit less, where X is equal to the printed install cost of the uninstalled card.
Just pay 1 click and get +2 strength on it, or put down your imp again with refilled for free.
Yep.
Exactly that. So it doesn't have to be the same card, but I think in 99.999999999% of cases, the card that is put back is the same one, and you've just refreshed it as you've described. But there are probably some niche cases where you want to pick up a program and put a different one down instead. Perhaps if you tighten MU, you pick up a Rizeki that you don't really need anymore, and you install a breaker for 2 credits less or something like that. I don't know. But primarily, it's just another way of recycling cards, yes.
Yep. So there's there are a few cards that do this in Magic, and they're pretty cool. They're pretty strong. Yeah.
Good.
And the number plate of the artwork is a reference I'm sure you'll both be familiar with.
Oh, NCC 1701. Sure enough.
Yes.
Excellent.
Now, I don't want us to move away from that too quickly, but I'm really excited about the next card.
Cool.
That is surprising, Sharon, because you're the first person in the history of Netrunner who's been surprised about.
Excited.
Well, I feel like.
Does someone want to tell Jess what NCC 1701 is?
Oh,
Star Trek.
It's the number that goes on every Enterprise, every Starship Enterprise. Um, so they all have different letters in front of them. Yeah, at the end of them rather. But yeah, every single one is NCC 1701. Right from the start.
Even I know that one, and I don't really watch Star Trek.
Yeah.
Anyway, direct access. It's a one-cost run event, and it says while you are resolving this event, each player's identity loses all its abilities. Then you run any server, and then when that run ends, you may shuffle this event back into your stack. So why are you excited by this, Sharon?
Well, because if he had his Earth Station ID, where I had to pay 6 credits to run his remote server, I could use this card to not have to pay those 6 credits. Is that not correct, or have I misunderstood?
No, that's one application for it. As it enters play, it cancels that Earth Station's ID, and then you can run the remote. Yeah.
Yep.
Is that the only use you were thinking of, or?
I mean, all the corp IDs, which for whose abilities I absolutely hate.
Like Jinteki, you no longer get sliced up on your run quite as badly. I mean, you're still probably getting sliced up reasonably badly, but yeah, sliced up a little bit instead is probably better than totally sliced up.
It doesn't
I mean, it's
seem
good to have
much.
in your back pocket, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it doesn't seem much playing startup, and it probably sees even less playing standard, because whilst if you know what deck you're going to be playing against, it can be great. Against other IDs, it's pretty much blank.
Mm.
And so it suffers from the am I going to put this in my deck in case I run into this opponent?
Yeah.
And for that reason, often doesn't make the cut. If the meta was dominated by a certain ID that this was strong against, then sure, it could come into the fore. But on the off chance of playing Earth Station or one of the other few startup IDs where it's relevant, it's probably not going to make the cut if
Mark,
you are limiting your deck to the correct size.
when this was released as part of the Ashes cycle, did it have a stronger use case? Were there some IDs that you were absolutely always going to see because they were the beaters at the time, and this dealt with them? Or has it always been questionable, and thus it might be foreshadowing some nonsense IDs? Or like, why does it exist?
Possibly. I mean, there are IDs, or there were IDs in Standard where this would be stronger. Jess has just named Replicating Perfection, a former Jinteki ID, where this card was very handy indeed. I think more than being targeted a specific ID, I think what this card is attempting to do is replicate an ability that used to exist called Employee Strike.
Mm-hmm.
An Employee Strike was a card you could play that turned off, with a current that you could play that turned off the Corp's ID ability. And if the Corp had no way of clearing that current, it made them very, very sad, because suddenly they were playing with people don't build the decks with the intent of playing with a blank ID. And it made decks with quite niche, IDs with quite niche abilities almost impossible to play, in case you got caught out by an employee strike and you couldn't do anything.
No, fair enough.
So I think this is more of an attempt to kind of rebalance it, so that it's not an effect that stays in play all through the game and completely hoses someone.
Sure.
It's an ability that can be used fleetingly to no doubt have a strong effect in the right matchup, but in some cases doesn't do anything either.
Cool. All right, then.
But if you were preparing decks to play against Earth Station, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely slot it in there.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, what's
And
next?
now we've got Buffer Drive. And Buffer Drive is a very fun card, perhaps quite expensive, but
Is it too fun?
interesting nonetheless. So Buffer Drive is a hardware. It costs 3 to install, and it says the first time each turn, one or more cards are trashed from your grip or your stack. You may add one of those cards to the bottom of your stack. So it keeps them from disappearing, basically.
Library of Leng.
So
Cool.
If you're playing against a prickly Jinteki type deck, it's a great thing to have in there, because the first time they do damage each turn, you can put a card back into your stack.
Sure.
Nice.
Gone but not forgotten.
Yeah, the other ability it has is if you are prepared to trash and remove this hardware from the game, you may add a card from your heap to the top of your stack. So if you've lost a card or you've spent a card and you want it back in a hurry, this is a free one-off shooter to bring it back to the top of your deck.
Yup.
To recur anything you like.
I like it.
But it's even though it's neutral, it's one influence neutral. So you've got to pay the influence piper, if that's a person, for it, as well as actually the 3 cards to install it.
Sure.
Now, there are a number of decks, situations, abilities that can benefit from this card. I'm not sure how many of them are in startup. Not many. If you're putting it in your deck in startup, it's probably because you're scared about net damage decks.
That's a fair fear to have.
Ha! Yeah. Okay, cool.
Especially when you're playing against Dave.
Okay. Next up is Whistleblower.
Mark moved across that very quickly.
Duh.
Sorry, Mark. Whistleblower.
Well, I don't know what I missed, but I'm just going to carry on. Whistleblower is a 2-cost resource. It's a connection. It's a unique connection. Fires with Paul's Cafe.
Excellent.
It says, and it has some very odd wording. It says, whenever you make a successful run, you may trash this resource to name an agenda. The next time within this run you access a copy of the named agenda, you can steal it ignoring all cost. Like, what the heck?
Include
Okay.
all like penalties as well.
You're no longer
Indeed.
accessing it.
Yes.
What?
So, if you think of, as we've seen today, SDS drone deployment,
Yeah.
that says, as an additional cost to steal this agenda, you must trash one program. If you're running on a server with Whistleblower, you get to the successful run stage, and you trash Whistleblower and you name SDS drone deployment. If you then access an SDS drone deployment, you can steal it without trashing a program.
Okay.
But you can tell by the amount of times I said "if" in that sentence.
Yep.
Yep.
This is a big
why this
guess.
card doesn't really work.
Yeah.
What I think this card should have said is, um, you shouldn't have to name it. You should just be able to steal an agenda
The next
without paying an
agenda.
additional cost.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact you have to work out what the agenda is first just means that it's like, what? I'm not sure.
Why is that so strong? It requires an influence.
Yeah, it needs a certain set run up.
What was going on
Yeah,
in
I think
playtest where this was dangerous?
Yeah. So this is a replacement for a card called Film Critic, and Film Critic was bonkers good. Film Critic worked like this, except A, you didn't have to name the agenda, and B, it didn't trash.
Sure.
So you could safely steal. Well, in fact, you weren't even stealing an agenda. If you film critiqued it, you were film criticking it and then moving it to your score area. So it also turned off punitive counterstrike too, because you were never actually stealing anything. You were just you were film critiquing it, which was a different ability entirely. So I think that when they were developing this as a replacement for Film Critic, they were scared of making it too strong.
Yeah.
And instead, they've gone off the other end and made it unplayably weak.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, fair enough.
Because even if you are coming up against a lot of SDS drone deployment and other agendas that they could be relevant to, like Bologna and Obercarter Protocol and other things you haven't seen yet, you're still like, well, I could just put a good card in my deck and take my chances.
Yeah. No, fair. Right. 2 left, right? 2 left.
2 left, and this is going to be quick.
Yep.
Well, no, one of them's going to be quick because one of them you already know what it is.
Oh, what? Cool.
But this is the one you don't know what it is, but you may well want to put in your deck because it is a strong card.
Yeah.
This is DreamNet. DreamNet is a unique 3-cost virtual resource. It says, the first time each turn you make a successful run, you may draw a card. So that's you doing something you want to do anyway and getting a benefit from it.
Sure.
Which is always a strong effect to have on a card. But more than that, it says if you have at least 2 link or your identity has subtype digital, you also gain a credit.
Gotcha.
So
wait. So if you're
2 link is perhaps where you are lat and you have installed a Cyber Trooper tablet, or some other combination.
Or your Sonny LeBeau.
Or your Sonny LeBeau, but not in.
But not here. Yeah.
Or if your identity is digital.
Or if you're Hashiko, right?
If you're Hashiko's flip side.
Yeah.
She is digital. So you have this card is useful in many places. It's particularly useful for Hashiko because, if you remember, Hashiko's flip side
Apex or Adam. Cool.
said that you lose a credit to start your turn if you're playing in the digital realm.
Yes.
But if you're going to make a successful run anyway, and therefore gain a credit, it offsets that credit that you've lost.
Yeah.
So you can stay on Hashiko's flip side, gaining the card draw at the start of every turn without having to keep flipping backwards and forwards.
Cool. And you won't run yourself out of money and cause yourself too many issues with it.
And of course, it stacks with other abilities. So if you want to dirty laundry into with your first run, it will get the benefits of the dirty laundry, and it will draw you a card, and if it does, it'll get you an extra credit.
Yep.
So
Because
it's a
an
nice
also win.
synergizing card as well.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
And finally, we have daily casts. And you
Daily
know what that is.
casts. Clicklessly
Daily
gain cash
casts.
each turn.
Yeah.
Aces.
Really good for Mirror Morph.
Very strong. It's clickless. It's rubbish for Mirror
Really
Morph.
It's a
good for
It's a
everything.
runner card.
Really good for everything.
Yeah.
Do not put daily casts in Mirror Morph decks. You will get disqualified.
Just by you.
Yeah. Cool. Also, yeah, Jinteki might get cranky.
No. It's good for that deck, that ID where you want to have a lot of different servers. Damn, what is it? Where you get something for for creating new servers.
This is
yes, Near Earth Hub.
Once again, it's
a
runner card. You can't use it in a corp. Yep.
Damn it.
Yep. but yes,
what it's really good for is for installing as a runner and getting loads of credits off it.
I tell you.
Love it.
Also, threes all over the place here, right? There's a lot of three. Oh no, those are not threes. There's a lot of threes in these clear cards. So you could be running the card that looks for installed cards that have like a set cost. And if you had like a daily casts, a whistleblower and a buffer drive out, or even 3 daily casts, a whistleblower and a dreamnet and a buffer drive out, you'd be laughing because you'd be not accessing, you'd be looking at tons of cards and accessing one. Yeah.
True.
That's cool.
Doing off daily casts that are going to trash soon
Sure.
is high risk. Doing it off 3 cost things is quite expensive, but it's possible.
Yeah. If that just happens to be where your deck kind of sits.
I created a Hush Up deck that fired off 6.
Cool.
Got a lot of expensive things. I wasn't able to use them because I didn't want to trash it. Just so I could fire Hush Up on 6.
Dear, oh dear.
Did the Hush Up go well at the very least?
I think I saw like 1 point or something, I don't
know. That's a win.
Yeah.
Big win.
Absolutely.
Yep. Big win. Deck concept proved. Yeah. Cool.
Wow, this has been exciting. What's our homework for next week?
Oh yeah, good question.
Well, your homework for next week is to plunge into the depths of Shaper BS. I want to see at least 27 actions on each turn rather than just 4 clicks, because cards should be going down, up and down, in and out of your grip, like nobody's business.
Gotcha.
So,
I will endeavour to make the most actions happen in 1 turn clicklessly, just for you, Mark. Yeah. Whether or not that's effective or not, whether or not it's the right time for it to happen, I will be attempting to make the most I can.
The perhaps biggest offender of that was a deck that was, for obvious reasons, called Rube Goldberg Haley. And it actually made, on one particular occasion, almost made me throw up from watching it.
Wow.
It was so horrifying to see.
Was that just Tau?
No, there were Haley's an ID that wasn't standard that has now rotated out. But the shenanigans that deck could come up with were just on a whole other level. So in this game I was watching between Mike and Steph, Steph had raced out to 4 or 5 points in front, whilst Mike was struggling to get all his shenanigans installed on the board, ready to go. And then Steph had the winning agenda in the remote behind, I think, 4 or 5 pieces of ice.
Oh.
Some of them being border controls, which is a card that's in the standard card pool, but is particularly difficult to deal with. And I was like, oh, I've never seen Rube Goldberg lose because it dominated the meta for the few weeks it was out, and I'm actually going to see it lose here now. And then before Mike's turn started, he went from 3 to 45 credits.
What?
I then made a run and uninstalled all the pieces of ice that he was encountering, so it wasn't just breaking them, he was getting rid of them. And then even though Steph managed to sort of hold him out for a couple of clicks, it was like, no, nothing you can do. And at that point, he was fully set up, and there's nothing you can do from now. I'm just going to steamroll him.
Sorry, I'm in the
Oh,
middle of
man.
serving toast to the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang kids. Here we go. Sure.
So thankfully, you don't have to worry about that particular Rube Goldberg machine, but see if you can cook up your own within the startup card rule.
Sure.
Oh, this is going to be fun. Any corp?
Any corp within the card pool that we've seen so far. So that's Weyland, or you've got access to all the startup cards for Weyland and HB now. Just Jinteki and MBN left on the corp side.
And just to remind me, on the runner side, we've got Anarch, Shaper,
All the
and
Anarch cards,
Neutral
all the Shaper
for
cards.
Ashes as well.
Yep. You're just missing criminal cards and Ashes now.
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
Super duper.
Criminal stuff.
Exciting. Can't
So
wait.
that means we are only 3 episodes away from finishing the startup card pool,
Incredible.
which is quite a scary prospect.
Incredible.
That has gone by quickly.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. And Dave.
Okay then.
And everyone.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
On that note, as we're approaching 11 o'clock, we will call it a night.
Woohoo!
Thank you very much to everyone who's joined us. And we'll be back again the same time next week for more high quality Netrunner.
Well prepared and practiced.
Sure.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Good night.